Round 20 of the NEAFL Premiership season brings us to Scottsdale Park this afternoon. A magnificent day. What should be a pretty intriguing contest as well. For Sydney University, the away side this afternoon, it is pretty simple. Win and they will make the finals once again in season 2019. Whilst for Redlands, they are playing for pride and to try and salvage something from this season heading towards 2020. It's Redlands taking on Sydney Uni, and it's going to be a ripper. Riley Staraj with you for the call, and with me is the encyclopedia of Queensland football, Bob Batty. How are you, Bob?
Yeah, good, Riley. Great to be here. Beautiful day here in southeast Queensland, and as you correctly said there, it's a big day for Sydney Uni. They must win this one. It's one that they probably would like to tick off, but Redland at home are always a little bit, they can always cause a surprise, and their starts have been really good recently.
They certainly have. They're certainly a side that have been very competitive in a lot of games in this season, just haven't been able to quite get the job done. And they're going to hope to be able to sustain a four-quarter performance this afternoon. Sydney Uni, not only are they playing to make the finals, but there is a very real possibility, if they win today, they can make the top four and get a very important home final in that elimination final week. It's going to be a very intriguing matchup. Who are you looking for this afternoon, Bob, to really have a big game?
Sydney Uni has too much at stake for them to lose today. I think they'll win here at Scottsdale Park, but I think Redland will certainly give their supporters something to cheer about today.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting matchup. Of course, Redlands, they can play some very exciting football. Of course, they've got the likes of Matt Hamilman and Clay Cameron in their forward line who can kick some big bags of goals for them, so they're going to be looking for that this afternoon. We're just about to get underway. Just to remind you, umpires this afternoon, Jonathan Angus, Sam Ward and Sam Wetton has the ball in the middle of Scottsdale Park. It's round 20, the penultimate round of this NEAFL home and away season. It'll be Craig Malone against Sam Tagliabue. Perfect bounce. Rucks go at it first time. Tagliabue wins it decisively. Gets the first clearance of the game towards the forward 50. Going to be a bouncing sort of a ball. Big contest coming up. Batty Simmons bodylined it but couldn't get it away. Hand pass fed to Cole. Back to Veal. Sends it inside the forward 50. And it's a good kick as well. It's a good mark taken from Foster. And he'll have the first shot of the game from about 25 metres out, 45-degree angle.
Yeah, very good kick from Veal. He gave his forward every chance to mark it, and good gutsy mark from Nick Foster. He remember the game against Aspley earlier in the year, got knocked out in the first quarter, and they really missed his drive. So he's a good kick normally. He missed it.
It was just to the near side there. Gone with the banana kick as a lot do. First score of the afternoon. Played barely a minute into this opening term. There's a kick in. Will come in short from Hunkin towards the pocket. Redlands, of course, were on the bye last week. They look to impress in their last couple of games. Batty Simmons goes with a very good kick wide, finds the target in Revel, who looked to play on initially, but decided to just hold play up a fraction towards the wing position. It's going to be a one-on-one contest. Getting front position was Cameron. Couldn't quite take the mark. It lets the students in. Stewart, been so good for them this year, gets it away off the hand pass to Robertson, but it's intercepted there from Revel. Then he gets the hands away. Short chipping ball there from Keneally down the line. And eventually tackled out of play by two students is Justin Curry. Will have a throw in.
Yeah, good stuff from Bruce Revel, the boy from Harvey Bay, 18-year-old. He's had a topsy-turvy season with the Lions Academy and the Allies, but good touch, couple of touches there early will give his confidence a real boost.
A lot of players around this stoppage. It's going to be a magnificent ruck battle today between Malone and Tagliabue. Give it to Tagliabue that time. Stewart couldn't quite get it. Tagliabue goes again. Bill Sam, he gets immediately tackled. And we'll have another stoppage. Of course, he's been playing a lot of football this year for Mount Gravatt, Bob.
Yeah, look, a developing defender now. They're throwing him in the midfield. Good to see.
Tagliabue gets the tap away. Veal being busy early. Gets approached by Malone, and you're not going to get past him. He's a very, very stocky man is Craig Malone. Goes inside to Keneally. Redlands, at least very early, just content to play more tempo, possession football. Goes down the line towards Cast. Goes over everyone's head, though, and it'll be over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw at about 50 metres out from the Bombers' attacking goal.
Just notice then the kick of Keneally seemed to float right over the back. So there could be a little bit of a, hard to tell, but a little bit of a breeze going to the right of screen that Redland are kicking to.
So every player's about within 70 to 80 metres of this contest. So if the students can get it away, They've got a lot of space over the back. Stewart fed the hand pass back to Barkley. He's got to go further back. Finds Bartholomeus in his defensive goal square. Goes wide. Composed kick as well. He finds the teammate. And Robertson, who goes short, finds Stewart. Of course, he's been so impressive this year, Bailey Stewart, when he's been on the field. He's been so impressive. Short chipping pass is a good one as well. Finds Ben Walos. Now Ben Walos has the option in Foster down the line. It's a good kick as well. And he's got a little bit of space. He plays on, goes short with the pass towards 55 metres out. He'll find Cole and Sydney Uni. They've got over the back here. They found the space. No mark taken. Stearns in the square if he can get it. Tapped off the ground there. Eventually from Batty Simmons just towards the boundary. Golden. Well, he's got some time. Wheels on the left towards the goal square. Coming over the top. Foster! We've played about 4 minutes. He's looking very dangerous early.
Yeah, certainly is. As I said, he's a courageous type. He's been mainly a defender for Sydney Uni in previous seasons, but he's really shown something up forward, and he's one of their on-field real dynamos, I believe.
So from about 15 metres out. Should be elementary from here. The umpire doesn't move a muscle, so first blood to the students. They move to 1-1-7. Redland's yet to score. We've played about 5 minutes into this opening term.
Notice they really lowered their eyes there, Riley. Didn't know when they come down the field. They had the switch of play from defence, but they really lowered their eyes. Had one long kick in amongst all that, but the others were short targets. But a beautiful kick in there from Goulden as the ball sort of come out to the 50-metre line. He curled it back, and Foster was there to take a very strong mark and convert. Good start.
I know it's very early days as well, but it just appears like the Bombers' defence is just giving a little bit too much latitude to the Sydney Uni forwards. They're allowing a lot of space in towards that forward line. There was a couple of opportunities there for Foster in about 30 seconds, so something they're going to have to quickly rectify. It's back in the middle. Another beautiful bounce from the umpire. Tap down to Malone that time. Stewart gets it immediately off the hand, sends it towards half forward, goes over the head of Barkley. Eventually let out. That's a really good tackle. That could be holding the ball. Well done from Williams. And Cast quickly feeds the hand pass. He goes back to O'Sullivan to Cast, but he's fumbled it immediately. He lets them in. Bartholomeus is then tackled. That's a little bit better from the Bombers, and Bill Sam will get the free.
Yeah, great tackle from Billy Sam, and that's the sort of stuff he's been doing all year at Mount Gravatt, so that'll lift his confidence.
Stallard to Batoli Simmons. He's been quite busy early. About 10 metres up the line. That's a beautiful kick as well. Finds Matt Thompson. Immediately hand passes it back. Goes back to Batoli Simmons in towards Malone. He couldn't quite get it, but the ball actually trickles to the back of the pack. It lets them in. It's a short kicking pass from Cameron to Hamilman. Now, Matt Hamilman, for the last couple of years, has been so impressive for the Bombers, and he'll line up from the boundary for goal number 58 this season.
Yeah, very consistent goal kicker, and he kicked 60 and won the NEAFL goal kicking last year, and he's on target to beat that this year. This will test him. It'll be a tough kick, but he probably kicked this at training 9 out of 10, I reckon.
So Hamilman sets it on its way. It looked good off the boot, and he loved it immediately. That's the first goal to the Bombers, and it's just the man you want to kick him. It brings it back to a 1-point margin, 1-1-7 to 1 straight 6.
Yeah, and the three key players got their hands on the footy then, didn't it? Batoli Simmons got the footy down half back, ran on, took the handball. Wasn't the greatest of kicks, but somehow fed out the back to Clay Cameron, who showed his class with a beautiful pass to Hamilman, and he did the rest. So that's the sort of stuff they've got to do, though. They've got to keep hitting targets and get the ball in the hands of their real good players.
That they certainly do. Of course, they've been such a potent forward line at times this year, Sydney Uni. That combination of Cameron and Hamilman has worked wonders for them. It's kept them in games, but again, just at key moments, they've just been found to be a little bit wanting. So back in the middle. Good early start here. Tagliabue wins it down decisively. Bartholomeus has got a few disposals early. Hiscox, short chipping pass. It goes about 25 metres. It's a good one as well. Wheeling onto the left foot there for the students was Stevenson towards the forward 50. No mark taken. Goes over the back. Well done from Stallard. Fed it off the hands. They raffle it around. Cast gets it for the Bombers. Goes further wide to Spence. Spence, it's a really dangerous pass to the playing coach. And he's tied up about 55 metres out from goal. Another opportunity here for Sydney Uni.
Yeah, Williams and Stallard, their key defenders, got involved then. It's good for Redland.
Tagliabue wins it down decisively. Spence was immediately tackled. And Cast takes it over the boundary. We'll have a throw in. Just noticing as well, Peter Young, well, we're used to seeing him a lot of the time playing defensively for the Bombers. He looks like he's playing a bit more of a forward role today, Bob.
Yeah, well, look, he did that a couple of weeks ago as well. He's just gives another target up there. It makes their forward line really potent, doesn't it, with Cameron, Yagmore and Hamilman. So they'll kick some goals today, those three.
Malone, front position, won it down that time. Sam gets the hand pass, cast to Spence, but a lot of pressure applied from the students. Foster fed it back off the hand, Stewart, then eventually goes to Veal towards the forward pocket. And good tackle there, laid from Scrivenich, and will be over the boundary. And we'll have another throw in. So the students in the last 6 weeks, since that loss to the Brisbane Lions, they've really hit a good vein of form. They've only lost the one game, and that was by 2 points to GWS at Henson Park. So they've come good at the right time for them. Back at the contest. Malone wins it down. Tagliabue roves it, sets it towards goal, always going to the right. So second minor score for the students. They're 2 points in front. 1-2 to 1 straight.
Started well, Tagliabue. He's had the better of the duel with Big Tiny Malone so far.
Of course, last time these two sides played, Tagliabue did not play that day. So it's a good inclusion for them. It's immediately turned over. Cole fed a hand pass back. Then it goes inside the forward 50. Stevenson over the top. That's a good hand pass towards the pocket. Well, I thought it was going to be good, but it's just gone over the boundary. And we'll have another stoppage. It looks like Redland's just struggling to transition defensively a little bit here.
Yeah, look, they've pushed Batty Simmons back as a sort of a extra defender there, playing on the wing and pushing back as an extra defender to give him a hand up there.
Neither ruckman got to it that time. Malone punches it forward about 5 to 10 metres. Eventually, that's a kick towards goal. It's not a bad effort, but it's going to drop short in the square. And the Bombers do very well to cover that one. The mark has been taken from O'Sullivan right on the last line. O'Sullivan will come towards half-back. It won't reach Hamilman, you wouldn't think. Good mark, Batty Simmons, though, and this actually opens up some space if they can move it quickly. And they also get the 50, so it helps either way. And this gives them another opportunity. They haven't had too many entries forward, but when they do transition, they get it. And they go quickly as well towards the goal square. Good kick from Batty Simmons. Comes off. Hamilman's going to kick his second. Right place at the right time for the big man. That's number 2 for him, and it puts the home side in front. 2 straight to 1-2. Pretty interesting sort of dynamic so far, Bob.
Yeah, no, very good. As I said, they've got to get the ball in the hands of the players that can really play. And Batty Simmons has been excellent in this first quarter. He's really given them some run and carry. The 50-metre penalty against Jake Bartholomaeus really cost them then. And Cameron nearly took the mark, but Hamilman crumbed beautifully. And look, he's got some leg speed. He can kick lovely goals. Just needs to get a bit more consistency in his game. That was his problem at Brisbane Lions. But look, he's had 2 great years as the key target for Redland.
He certainly has, and you imagine he might want to have draft aspirations once again at the end of the year. Another couple of years of maturity might have done a world of wonder for him, and if he can potentially transition back into the AFL. Back in the middle, Malone wins it down decisively. A clearance here to the Bombers, kicked inside the forward 50 there from Miller. And Hamilman again! Well, he's the danger man at the moment. It's the Batty Simmons and Hamilman show. This is going to be number 3 if he kicks this.
Well, confidence right up. He's playing on a youngster in Michael Carroll. Turkey Tom Carroll has got in the genes there. He used to play at both at South Melbourne, but that's many, many years ago before you were thought of, Riley. But yeah, Hamilman could be number 3 here. Good start to him.
So you've got the perfect angle here on NEAFL TV from Bar TV. 35 metres out. He's kicked it. He just squeezes it in. And Redlands, they've kicked 2 in a minute. 3 straight to 1-2, and for all the territory dominance that Sydney Uni had in the first 5 minutes, they find themselves 10 points down, about 12 minutes gone into this opening term.
Yeah, good finish from Matt Hamilton, but again, it was a very long kick out of the middle. I think it was Scott Miller that got the ball on the burst, kicked it long, and that puts the pressure right on the defence straight away. And last thing I want to be doing is back and heading one out against Matthew Hamilton. And he got found out there, Michael Carroll. He's got to tighten up a bit. He's had a pretty good season, but this is really going to test him today against Matt Hamilton.
Yeah, you just get the feeling 3 goals in the first 10 minutes. He might be sniffing a big bag here in front of his home crowd. So back in the middle, Ryan wins the tap down that time. It goes straight to Stevenson, the Foster, inside the forward 50 here for the students. It's tapped further on, going towards the pockets. Morrison keeps it in. He does very well. He's got an opponent which is approaches in towards the pocket. That's a check side at goal. It's hit the post. Tristan Davies just a little bit skinny there on the kick, but a good build up there from the students from the clearance. It looks like these centre clearances, at least early, they're doing wonders.
Yeah, look, they've got a potency up forward as well, haven't they, with Davies, Stern and Morrison. They're three good forwards.
Hunkin goes towards half back. I think that was just touched from Clay Cameron, and we'll have a throw in. Just have a look at the early statistics here as well. Batty Simmons, we've mentioned him. He's already had the 5 possessions. Hamilman, 3 possessions, 3 goals, whilst for the students, Foster and Stewart each have 5, so they've started well for Uni. He's back at the contest. Samson Ryan gets the tap down very well over the back towards the contest. Cast, he soccers it off the ground, couldn't quite get it away. Going in there hard for the Bombers was Johnson. Couldn't quite get the feed out and eventually be tied up again in the middle of the ground.
Good to see Redland trying some different names in that midfield. Billy Sam was in there, Scotty Miller. They're players that have played defence, so they're at least trying things today. Speaking
of Scotty Miller, he just got the free kick for high contact. He'll send it towards the wing position. Christensen's got a job to do here. He couldn't get there in time. Veal did it very nicely. Then Ham passes it towards Stevenson. He's got a bit of time. Then gives it towards Hiscox, who'll go very wide. But it's going to work out okay. It'll go to Veal. He's about 75 metres out from goal. Goes inside the forward 50. Not the greatest of kicks, though. That's been marked very well there from Johnson, who goes further wide towards half-back. Kick up the line. Well, that wasn't very good at all. That's been marked there by Cordell, about 75 metres out. Cordell sets it up towards the 50. Redlands have the numbers. No mark, though. They're taken from Williams. He doesn't normally drop those. We'll have a stoppage about 30 metres out, but that's one he'd normally take, Bob.
Certainly would. He's dual B and F winner in the last 2 years, and you'd back him to get that one for sure.
Ryan wins the tap down. It's fed out eventually to Miller towards the half-back position. Yagmore got it on the bounce. Then he got the hand pass away, which was towards Marsh. His hand pass wasn't the greatest, and good tackle there laid from Mills. It gives Uni another opportunity inside their forward 50. You wouldn't want to give him too many of these.
Yeah, good to see Darcy Marsh playing. He's a very talented young player, but he's got to make sure he gets those handballs accurately.
Ryan won the tap down, but to no advantage, and we'll do it all again. Of course, Samson Ryan, he started to be integrated into this Redland side. He's initially from Toowoomba, and he's been playing for the Magpies this year. He's certainly an exciting prospect. Wins it down again that time. Hand passed over the back. The students will try to get it away. Stewart, though, couldn't get it. Ryan drops the ball at the crucial moment, then tries to tie it up. It's all a little bit scrappy in there at the moment. Spence couldn't quite get it away. Good tackle late. Eventually it's cleared away from Miller towards the wing position, but Carroll's got position that time, but Hamilman, he forced the contest at least, and he's let the Bombers in if they can get the numbers there. They do eventually cast Christensen. He's got options further afield. That's a good kick as well if it stays in for Thompson. Just goes out at the inopportune time, but they were away there, Redlands. They're really getting some good run off the back, it seems.
Yeah, look, their outside run's been good today. It's one of the areas that they really need to work on, though. Their in and under stuff's been okay throughout the year, but it's when the spreads happen, they've been found wanting. But a little bit more promising today.
So there's the throw-in. The two secondary ruckmen, and Ryan and Banuelos go at it. Ryan wins it down that time. Tried to get it kick off the pack, but Redlands, oh, that's a fantastic spinning turn there from Johnson. He got smothered, but then he tried to lay the tackle. It was just unfortunate because it's going to come away. Stevenson will kick it forward. He's going to try and find Stern, but the kick just is massively overcooked and ill-directed. And instead, it's going to be the Bombers coming towards half-back through Hunkin, who's got a few possessions early. He's one of those players you want the ball in hand because he's got a prodigious left. Finds Cast. Cast immediately plays on, right on the wing position. Runs his 10 metres, then goes forward. Hamilman's going to get this again. When you're hot, and Matt Hamilman is piping hot at the moment. He's going to have another shot on goal. This one's going to be the toughest of the lot yet.
Yeah, but when your confidence is up, you can kick him from anywhere. You kick it blindfolded at the moment, so you wouldn't write him off from there. But good kick from Cast. He had 2 or 3 other options, but thought, well, this bloke's hot. Let's get it to him, and he's hasn't let him down. Let's see if he can kick his 4th.
So he'll come in 48 metres out, sets it on its way, and the breeze that time just carried it to the right. So the first minor score for the Bombers, 3-1-19, the 1-3-9. You say the Bombers are Matt Hamilman. He's kicked their entire score early.
Yeah, good start from him. And again, it was long kicks again, wasn't it? Hunkin, you mentioned his left foot. That was a beautiful kick from half-back.
Stevenson. All right, talking of beautiful kicks, that's a good one. They immediately play on here, the students. Golden goes up towards half forward, trying to find the targeting Cole now. It's just going to bounce ahead of him, but he's got he had a bit of space, but they're kicking at the moment for Sydney Uni. He's just letting him down a little bit there, and it's gone out of play, and we'll have a stoppage about 60 metres out.
Yeah, look, their first initial couple of kicks out of defence have been good, but it's the one hitting across half forward they're missing at the moment.
So boundary throwing. Malone front position. Throwing favours him. Gets it immediately away to Sam. Hand pass inside. Finds Christensen. Goes towards Hamilman. It was the last line. Getting there was Barton. He keeps in the field of play. He had the inopportune fumble, but he's done all right. Robertson stops and props. Hand pass over the tops. Okay, then try to feed the Barton, but it's been missed. Hamilman feeds it further back off the hands. Trying to get that away. There was Revel inside the forward 50 from Carson. This is almost another mark taken from Ryan. Instead, it falls to the bottom. And this is going to be another goal. Ooh, Thompson. It looked like he fumbled it over from the snap from Christensen, but that's number 4 for the Bombers. They are on fire in Sydney Uni. They've got some problems early. 4-1-25 to 1-3-9.
Yeah, good hands from Bruce Revel there in close. That was the where they set up that foray forward. A nice kick from Christensen. I don't know what Matty Thompson was doing, whether he was thinking, well, do I let this go or do I mark it? But he nearly fumbled it over the line. But luckily for Redland, they deserved a goal there and they got it. And, yeah, good play from Redland. They're looking dangerous. As I said, they're getting them on the outside and they're hitting the targets, kicking longer.
When you've got targets like Hamilman up there as well, it works wonders when you go long. Of course, last time these two sides played, Redlands did get the hot start as well, Bob. There was 6-2 in the opening quarter before the students eventually reeled them in, but at least early, they're playing some fantastic footy. He's back in the middle. Malone wins it down, but it goes straight to Bartholomeus. Does a little bit of a turn, goes towards half forward, goes over the back. Eventually the students can hand pass up. It's a free kick. That's advantage towards goal, and that's a good kick as well. And that's the quick reply that they needed. And it's been kicked by Will Sirakowski. Much needed for the students. 2-3-15. They're down by 9 points, 4-1-25.
Yeah, good work from Jake Bartholomeus. He knocks up getting the footy, doesn't he? He's a ball magnet. Sydney Uni Rising Star winner last year, and he's really taken his footy to another level in 2019. And he's getting the ball out of that midfield, and that was better play, wasn't it? Once they got it to half forward, they were a much cleaner, beautiful handball out the back, and a lovely finish there from the experienced Will Sirakowski, former North Melbourne and Hawthorn listed player.
It was certainly a fantastic finish, and a key goal as well, because Redlands have had all the momentum in the last 10 minutes, but that might steady the ship a little. Of course, we all know how important this afternoon is for the students. Malone, though, he wins the tap down decisively. Clearance inside 50 from Miller. The target's Ryan. No mark taken from Barton. Goes over the back. First there is Andrew Sirakowski. Well, he's immediately tied up by Sansom Ryan. That'll be a stoppage about 15 metres out from the Bombers' attacking goal. So once again, all numbers are within about 70 metres of this footy. Tagliabue wins it down. Just trying to raffle around here, the students. Eventually, it's cleared away towards half-back, and they've got some space if Cole can get onto this. He does well, tries to get past Revel. Instead, hand pass it to Crockmale. He can go inside. He'll find Sirakowski, then feeds it back. They're just going to, initially raffle around, but instead it's turned over. Well done from Revel to get it on the deflection towards the goal square. Hamilman's one out, and he's almost got it, but well done from Barton. Got a feeling to keep him from kicking it back. That's what they're going to have to do today, get across that extra number. Second minor score for the Bombers, 4-2 to 2-3.
And that's what he does beautifully, doesn't he? Tim Barton, a very experienced defender, ex-captain of this team and rep team member. He will certainly try and get that third man up against Hamilman.
Veal towards half-back. This is going to drop short, though, and Bill Sam, he had front position the whole time. He's taken the mark about, say, 60 metres out. And he'll send it right back in. Hamilman, he'll go at it again. Big fly, almost marking the air, but it's snapped off from Cameron. Just out on the full. And he looked like from that kick at least, that you were certainly right about that breeze. That held up, I reckon, about 5 to 10 metres that mark from Sam.
Yeah, no, it was a good fly, wasn't it, from the Uni defender. But, yeah, Bill Sam and Scott Miller out of the midfield. They've been surprise packets for Redland.
Providing some much-needed spark as it's back on the wing position. The students, if they can get this ball, have got numbers ahead of the football. Falls towards Cole. Hand pass inside. It's a good one. Finds Golden. Off the left foot. Kicks inside the 50. Davies couldn't take the slips catch. And he's just going to let the Bombers in here a fraction. Keneally fed the hand pass away. Kick towards half-back. A good mark from O'Sullivan. Tough grab. He'll go inboard. The try finds Spence, but not the greatest of kicks. It lets Stewart in. But coming in is Batty. Simmons steps inside beautifully. He's just showing some class early. Kick inside from Cameron. It's going to beat Hamilman on a half volley. The hands were supreme, but it just missed the target. Batty. Simmons follows up the work. Cast 50 metres out. There's no one in the square. And it's all the students here to at least get the numbers if it stays in play. But Mitch Rogers was content to see it out.
Yeah, lucky sort of bouncing ball there. Could have easily been torpedoed all the way down the other end of our stadium. But, yeah, good work again. Batty Simmons, he's the key there. He's running through midfield and lifting his side.
Tagliabue wins it down that time, gets it towards Hiscox. Hand pass further back, eventually kicked towards the half-back position for Barkley, but good mark from Malone. He always had the height and he quickly plays on as well. He changes the angles of the kick. Finds O'Sullivan. It's a very congested forward 50, so he's just going to have to set it up towards Ryan. No mark taken. Tackle from Yagmore is laid, puts the pressure on. And the Bombers forward pressure. I'm really liking this early, Bob, how they quite a few times they've actually kept it inside their forward 50.
Yeah, I think it's been a focus from Cast today for their forwards to put more pressure on.
Tagliabue gets the tap down. It's punched further forward. Stewart gets the extracting kick away. Cast, the man you just mentioned, got the spoil in, but it falls back to Stewart. His hand pass wasn't the cleanest. It's going to let the Bombers in here at half-back. It's fed out towards O'Sullivan. Goes inside the forward 50. Hamilman, the target from the back, almost took it. Then jumps like a cat. Couldn't quite get at the football. Numbers surrounding from both teams. Ryan lays the tackle. It's extracted further wide. Hamilman couldn't pick it up. Ryan now to Hamilman. Smothered immediately off the boot. They're in trouble here, the students. They're under siege at the moment. Turning around and trying to get, that's Cameron. Left foot, smothered to get off the boot. Good pressure there from Carroll. Going in hard at the bottom of the pack's Foster. And eventually, once again, it's tied up. And they look a bit vulnerable, this University defence at the moment. A couple of weeks ago, they looked so secure. Last week against the Thunder, they only conceded the 8 goals. But at the moment, a bit all at sea. Tagliabue, smothered immediately from Johnson. He sets it up towards the square just to try find someone, but Rogers comes over and takes the saving mark.
Yeah, Billy Johnson's had a good year for Redland. He's been one of their young improvers. So good effort from him.
Bartholomeus towards the running teammate there in Stewart towards half forward. Coming across Malone. Well, he's done that a couple of times now. Come across and taken that good mark. Immediately plays on towards Cast, but he's against a 1-on-2, which lets the students in. Maybe not the greatest of options from Tony Malone. Veal to Barkley at half-back. Dangerous kick. Spoiled from Yagmore, but front on contact. Well, don't know about that one. Nonetheless, they play on from it quickly, and it lets the students in on this out broadcast wing. Robertson inside the forward 50. Terrible kick, though, towards Davies. At least early, he hasn't got the greatest delivery. And the mark is taken there from Spence against Cole. Goes to Revel. Liked how he's gone early. Goes further wide, hand pass fed inside. Finds Keneally, then feeds a hand pass further back, then goes towards the wing position. Johnson takes the mark. He'll wheel around, then goes inside towards O'Sullivan. He's got to get past one tackler. Feeds the hand pass away to Stephen. He couldn't do much with it. Sirakoski couldn't do much with it either. Revel goes at it again, and then he goes inside the forward 50. It's going to be overcooked, though, and the mark has been taken for Robertson on the last line.
Yeah, just got a bit too much on it there, Bruce Revel, but he's been prevalent. A lot of the youngsters are putting their hand up this quarter, haven't they? Sam's one of them. Certainly Scotty Miller's been really good in that midfield.
Goulden goes short with the kick. Finds Will Sirakoski, and that's going to be 50. Johnson just travelled a little bit over the mark there on that occasion. It's pretty hot there, the umpire, but I think it was there.
Good recovery from Sirakoski. He got fixed up by Tiny Malone there a couple of minutes ago with that marking contest.
Good kick inside 50 as well. Davies couldn't take it, but the second effort was good. He's immediately tackled, though, over the boundary from Miller. And we'll have a throw in. About 45 metres out from the students attacking goal. What have you really liked from Redland so far, Bob?
Look, as I said, I think it's been their poise when they've had the footy. A lot of the times they've, in previous games I've watched them, they've tried to do the cute little kicks and short little passes that have come unstuck and turned the ball over. They've been kicking longer and to better contests.
Just give the honours to Malone that time. Stephen breaks away, then goes towards half-back with a really good sort of a ball. Finds a teammate there in Curry. He'll go wide with the hand pass. Stephen then goes really wide. It's called not 15 play on, so Williams has to hand pass it about 10 metres forward. Batty Simmons has got that inch perfect. I don't believe he has. So it's going to be turned over. One of the last opportunities for the students, you might feel. Late stages opening term. Stern goes inside to Hiscox. Hiscox short ball. Spoil immediately off the hands. Big contest coming up. Hiscox goes again. Feeds it back towards Barkley, who's immediately under pressure but showed good composure to Golden. This might open up now. Barton in the middle of Scottsdale Park. Feeds the hand pass wide. It's a good one as well. Kick inside the forward 50. Tried to find Foster, but Batty Simmons, who's the best man on ground at the moment, not named Matt Hamilman, he's taken the saving mark.
No doubt he's been the best player on ground. He's won the ball at will across half back there, and he's run and carry's been excellent for Redland, so a good start from him.
Barkley's immediately tied up. The ball up right on the wing. How have you seen the ruck battle early, Bob? It looks like Malone's certainly holding his own here against the bigger man in Tagliabue.
Yeah, well, look, I would have thought Malone would have been the favourite going into this contest. Like, he holds a record of 71 tap-outs. So, but Tagliabue's been okay. There hasn't been much in it. I think Malone slowly getting into the game with his marking around the ground.
See them go at it once again. Of course, as you mentioned, Malone's taken a couple of really good marks defensively coming across. Wins the tap down that time. Just Tagliabue, though, feeds a hand pass away towards Gull and then gets it further on towards Cole. It's gone out on the full, so it's going to be a free kick here to the Bombers. They'd be really happy with this opening term, but common theme for them, of course, is they've had a lot of good opening terms in season 2019. They just haven't been able to carry it all throughout the 4 quarters of games.
Correct, Riley. The proof will be in the pudding in this second quarter, won't it?
Williams sends it right back to virtually the same position. Well, Tagliabue has taken the mark. Oh, it's actually been a free kick. It looked like it was a free kick there. It was a late call, but it's given away. Johnson inside the forward 50. Try to find Yagmore. Cameron's there for the Bombers. Wheels around, then he'll give the hand pass away. Check side from the boundary. Curry can take this, and he does it nicely. He just read that very nicely off the boot there, Justin Curry. Of course, the young man who's been a part of the Lions Academy in the Cooperoo setup as well. He'll be lining up for his first goal today.
Yeah, very athletic young type, isn't he? But look, he's had a couple of years in the Lions Academy. Showed glimpses, but this is one that Redland will certainly love on the icing on the cake here if he can put this through.
So to cap off an impressive quarter from the Bombers and send it out to 17 points, sets it on its way, and he snuck that in. Well, I reckon there was much in that between the ball and the goalpost, but it's a good kick nonetheless, and it's a great quarter for the Bombers. 5-2-32 to 2-3-15. They've been very good early, but as you said, it'll be proof in the pudding as this one goes along. We'll just run you through the goal kickers as well. 3 to Matt Hamilman, 1 to Matty Thompson, and then the kick there just from Curry Whilst for the students. 1 to Will Sirikowski and 1 to Nick Foster. Bob Batty.
Yeah, look, good start from Redland. Now, we've said this in the past. In the last 3 or 4 games, they've done exactly this. I see Batty Simmons getting them in and talking to them and getting that excitement level down so they can really focus on the second quarter. I think that'll be a real key for Phil Cast to get them to consistently apply that pressure that they did in that first quarter around the contest as they all link arms and have a bit of a yap there. But look, a good start. It's certainly at their home ground to kick 5 goals to 2 in the first quarter against a top finals-bound team is a really good start to the game for them. But let's see how they go. Sydney Uni got a bit of work to do.
That they certainly do. We'll just have a run through the best disposal winners as well. Batoli Simmons, the man you just mentioned, he had 9, and I reckon he almost ran 100% efficiency there. Jake Veal's got 9 as well for the students. Whilst we run through the others, Bailey Stewart, he's been good early for the students with 8 disposals as well as Lewis Stevenson. He has the 8, whilst for the Bombers as well, Stephen O'Sullivan have 8 disposals and Cass has 7. So it's quarter time, Scottsdale Park. Great start for the Bombers on the penultimate round of the home and away season of the NEAFL in 2019. We'll be back in about 5 minutes for this second quarter. Second quarter about to get underway here from Scottsdale Park. And so far, so good for the home side. The Redlands Bombers, they find themselves 17 points up here as we're about to get underway in the second term. 5-2-32 to the Sydney University students, 2-3-15. They've got a bit of work to do here today. Of course, we know how important this is towards their finals aspirations. Riley Staraj and Bob Batty with you for the coverage this afternoon. But we were just talking through the break that Redlands, especially in that first quarter, they just looked to have a little bit more of a longer approach as they got the footy.
Yeah, certainly been a focus, I think, to kick the ball longer into those forwards, get them one-on-one, and Hamilman did the job in that first quarter.
So back in the middle, Tagliabue, there's a free kick. It's going to go for a block, and it's going to go the way of the Bombers. And we'll go to Malone. He feeds it quickly off the hands back. Fed Stevenson towards O'Sullivan, towards the forward 50. Coming out to meet it's Barton, but he's just had a couple of little fumbles so far today. It's eventually extracted, but it's turned over towards Stephen. Goes inside. If this stays in, Hamilman can get it, and it does stay in. Well, I think that stayed in, but it's been called out on the full. It's a very line ball. Nonetheless, it's a free kick to Sydney University.
Yeah, it looked touch and go, didn't it? But he was right there, the boundary umpire, and had a good look at it.
Carroll short to Stewart. Stewart goes inside, and this could open up the ground here because it goes to Barton. Quickly feeds it off the hands to Stevenson towards the forward line. A one-on-one contest goes over the back. This is going to favour Morrison if he can get there, or Golden. Take your pick. Golden immediately tackled Morrison. Wheels around, snaps a goal, and that is a good kick. Much needed for the students to get the first one in this second quarter. That brings them to an 11-point deficit. And they find themselves at 3-3-21. Redlands 5-2-32, early stage of second quarter.
Yeah, you called it well. It was Bailey Stewart again from the stoppage. Got the footy and switched it across. Barton, quick hands. Stevenson, a beautiful long kick. And that's what we said Redland did well in that first quarter. Well, that's what Uni need to do, to get it in quickly to Davies, Stern, and also Morrison. And Morrison was at the... looked like Goulden was just going to run in and kick an easy one, but good snap from Morrison. He's got some pace, boy from Williamstown, and I think it was Geelong Abattoirs that he came from, old Geelong Abattoirs. So he's been a good acquisition for him this year.
So back in the middle, and that looks like it will be recalled. We'll do it all again. Of course, the students, they had quite a bit of forward territory in that opening quarter. It was just their disposal that really let them down at times. It's something the coach told me, Morrison, want to have cleaned up. Malone wins the tap down, comes off hands. Veal feeds it well, and the kick inside the forward 50 from Hiscox towards the one-on-one contest. It's going over the back, and it's eventually taken over from Keneally. And we'll do it once again from the stoppage. Another opportunity here for the students. Of course, just to remind you, if they win today, finals become a certainty for them. But should they slip up, something becomes very dicey, and Canberra is back into the race more than they like to think. As Bartholomeus, well, he was shoved out of play. We're throwing no free kick there from the umpire. And we'll do it all again.
Yeah, good to see Phil Cass switching his players around a bit. I see young Keneally playing back half footy, Revel the same, being a winger. So good to see, and good development.
Tagliabue wins it over the back. Christensen immediately lays the tackle there on Veal. Umpire calls for a ball up. Of course, is it this sort of time of year, if you're part of the Redland setup, you start looking towards 2020. Certainly been one of the... They've improved their play, but they just haven't quite get the job done. Bartholomeus, well, his hand pass was intercepted from O'Sullivan. He'll go towards half-back. Curry's got to sit under this, and he does it very nicely. Quickly plays on Cameron. He's the next link in the chain. He was in half-back. Then the kick will go further afield. Hunkin's the target, but it drops short, and Barton was the right place at the right time. I think Redlands, they're just going to have to adjust a little bit here. They can't bomb it quite like they did in that opening term. Probably give it a 2-goal breeze. So in the wing position, Uni can go inside the 50 once again. The Bombers, they got 3 around this. No mark taken from Keneally, but this lets them in here, the Uni students, if they can get it. Cordell, he gets it, tries to hand pass, but it's drawn out of play. But they look a bit more enterprising here in this second term. I know it's only early, Bob, but their energy is really up at the moment here, Sydney University.
Yeah, look, Stevenson's a big worry for Redland at the moment. Damien Stephen trying to run with him at the moment, but he's looking dangerous and kicking the ball long into their forward half.
Tagliabue wins the tap down decisively. Well done from Morrison. He's crafty in these situations. Hand pass to the back, tried to find Cole, intercepted from Miller, then eventually taken from Marsh, who's immediately tackled. It's going to be a stoppage. Good tackle there from Cordell. Gives City University another chance to reduce this deficit. Tagliabue wins it down towards the space. Stewart does very well to get away from the tackle. 45 metres out. Sets it on its way. Almost gets over the back. Batty Simmons is content to see that over the line. And it's going to be a minor score for the Shoons. But it brings it back to 10. 5-2 to 3-4. Staraj comes in short to Christensen. He's had a bit of an interesting year, Bob Christensen. He's had some moments where he's really shone, but it's just that consistency he's lacking at the moment.
Yeah, no real consistency, and look at that kick. That's what's going to hurt you every time if you're coming out of the back half. You've got to make sure where you're going, and he panicked there. And Staraj, I wanted to mention him. He's been good back there for Redland this year.
Stevenson sends it towards the goal square. Good penetrating kick, but Williams, he's taken a ripper, and he immediately plays it on, finds Curry. Done some nice work early. There's Justin Curry kick. The goal right on the siren to end the first quarter. He's got right positions, right time. Kick, though, wasn't the greatest. Barton went down towards Stewart. Now the kick inside forward 50. There from Cole, trying to come across. Was the Bombers' defence, but once again, it's tied up and it lets the Students get another chance. These repeat inside 50s can make it a little bit of a stalemate. It keeps the pressure on this Bombers' defence.
Yeah, look, it'll be interesting to see how they stand up there. We've got a lot of youngsters back there. Let's see what they do.
Malone wins it down. That's a kick towards goal. And that's another kick towards goal from Crockmale. Well, the kick from Stevenson only went about 5 metres, but Crockmale's hands were outstanding, and then just the instinct to turn onto the left. Magnificent work there from Sydney University. It brings it back to 4 points the margin. 5-2-32 to 4-4-28. Good game this one early, Bob.
Yeah, look, it's evening right up, isn't it? And look, it's as we said, the test will be in the proof of the pudding will be in the second quarter with Redland. They've consistently started well and then dropped away. Let's hope that doesn't happen again, is what Phil Cass is saying. And look, for Redland supporters, you'd hope that that won't be the case. But yeah, you'd hope that they'd stay in this contest. But Uni are looking very strong. Stevenson's a big worry through that midfield. They've got to really start to put some effort into negating his ball-winning capabilities.
So a good start here for Uni. Showing a bit more energy than they did in that opening term. Tagliabue, he wins it down that time. Stevenson pursues it for the Students, but coming out's Cass. Fed it to Malone. Steven goes in hard. He's immediately tackled, but still fed it away. It's going to be a free kick. It is going to go the way of the Bombers. It's going to go the way of Johnson. He goes wide. Finds Steven, then finds Cass about 60 metres out from goal. Sends it inside the forward 50. Hammelman again. He's the danger at the moment for the University defence. And if you've just joined us, he's lining up for number 4.
Yeah, good finish or good pass there from Phil Cass. Their short game where they're coming through across the wing and half forward at the start of their second quarter has been ordinary, but that was a lovely kick from Phil Cass. And Hammelman, he's kicked 3-1 from 4 kicks. Let's see if he can make it 4-1 from 5.
So come in 45 metres out, sets it on its way, and the umpire has not moved a centimetre. Magnificent kick of the football is Matt Hammelman. That's goal number 4. He almost has all of the Bombers score at the moment. 6-2-38 to 4-4-28. But we have mentioned there are some crucial games going around the league as well for Sydney University. We'll just have a look at the scores as well. At the moment, Canberra, they are 28 points up ahead of Aspley, 4-6-30 to the Hornets. Only the 2 behinds, whilst down in Sydney, the Swans are currently down by 5 goals. 5-9-39 the Gold Coast find themselves at the moment, whilst the Swans 1-3-9.
Yeah, watched the Gold Coast Suns last week, and their first half was absolutely brilliant against Brisbane Lions, who had a full book of senior and rookie listed players, and they led them by 9 points at half time, so their form's good, Gold Coast. Good finish from Hamilton. That's 61 goals, so he's beaten last year's mark already this year.
He looks like he's in for a few more yet. So back in the middle, Malone. The bounce favoured him and he won it decisively. Bartholomeus tried to feed it away off the ground. Sirakoski got half a hand pass away, but it's tied up. Of course, the result that really matters around the league in terms of Sydney University is that result down in Canberra, because they're the only side that can catch them for that last final spot as Curry's tied up all again.
Notice Yagmore being moved back as sort of an extra defender here, which is not a bad move from Phil Cask, as they're under the pump a bit back there.
Not a bad move there from Tagliabue as well, out of the middle. With the dance step, it's gone towards half forward. Sydney University have the numbers around it. Veal being very good early for them. Sends it inside the 50. Davies, he's got the fly. Oh, great mark coming across. And who else but Williams? He's done that so often in his career. He's been such an outstanding defender, and that was all courage.
Yeah, great mark. He has, as you rightly said, he's been a fantastic defender for Redland for a number of years now. 5 years since he came across from Tassie, and 2 Dowling medals. He's just been a resolute defender for, I see, as Stephen Mills is coming off, is it? Looks like he's copped one, that marking contest.
He looks like he's also either holding his ribs. He's going down on all fours at the moment, so that might be one to monitor a little bit. Keep you updated as we know more. Tagliabue wins it down. Clearance from the pack towards the forward line. Rogers pursues it. Yagmore is content to see it over the line. And we'll have another throw in. So Sydney University, they started with a lot of energy in this second quarter. They brought back the deficit a little bit, but every time it goes forward at the moment for the Bombers, they look like they could kick a goal.
Interesting, Mitch Rogers, defender for Sydney Uni, going with Peter Yagmore when he's moved back to defence.
Well, this is a chance for the students, and that's a goal for the students. They've done it very nicely through Bartholomeus. He rode that beautifully and just showed a quick set of heels to get 5 metres. That's a good kick as well. He's all class, Jake Bartholomeus. And brings the margin back to 4, 6-2 to 5-4. And this game setting itself up very nicely. Sort of feels like it's going goal for goal a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, look, they're certainly back in the contest, aren't they? They've got a little bit more bounce in their step, Sydney Uni. I think this beautiful sunshine has taken them a little bit of time to get their game flowing, but they've kicked the ball longer, which has been the key. But that was a great finish from Bartholomeus. He's had an excellent season, keeps finding the footy, and the 2018 rising star for Sydney Uni has had a fantastic year this year.
Of course, for Sydney University as well, they're probably more used to playing on the bigger grounds, of course, at Henson Park and Blacktown, are one of the longer grounds in the league. Redland's a little bit more confided. Maybe just adjusting to the metrics a little bit, but they've worked themselves into it nicely in this second term. Well done from Malone to win it down. Miller couldn't get it away. Lets the students in once again. Cordell's immediately tackled. We'll have another ball up. On the perfect position here if you're watching. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are. NEAFL TV brought to you by Bar TV. Been a good one so far. Bartholomeus inside the forward 50. And Adrian Williams. He's chopped that off again. He's playing a very good role. He'll go short. Finds Christensen. Goes inboard. Finds Batty Simmons.
Now this is the key kick now. This is the one where in the first quarter they've been getting it on the move and going long. See what happens here.
Well, he does a nice little feint, then sends it long. He's just all class with the kick there, Batty Simmons. He's found some really good territory there towards Cameron. Here you go down the line instead. Well, Christensen, he's in between 3 and the students. Well, 3 went at the pack, none took the mark, and I don't think that would make Tom Morrison too happy. No communication there, it seemed like.
Yeah, no, they had Barton, they had Carroll, they had about three of them all flying for the one ball, and in the end, Christensen nearly won it at ground level against the 3 of them.
So Ryan, he's favoured by the throw and gets the tap down, but he's tapped it immediately to Golden, who sends a high up and under sort of a ball. Try and mark that one. It's come down the bottom of the pack, and this is a chance here for the students. They've got runners forward of the ball, taking it on the trap. There's Morrison, 45 metres out. That is a brilliant kick! Good stuff from Harry Morrison. He's kicked 2 in this second quarter, and it actually puts the students in front for the first time since the opening stages, 6-4 to 6-2. Fantastic composure there just to get it and then go with it and kick it beautifully 45 metres out, going full tilt.
Yeah, just good poise, wasn't it? He's just got good balance, and when he takes off, he knows he's got the pace, and he relies on that to sort of get that extra metre steady, and it was a beautiful finish. And he's kicked 2 nice goals this quarter, and all of a sudden, new leaders. So now's the real litmus test for this team, Redland. They've in the past few weeks they've been in this situation and been found wanting. Let's see what they can produce when under pressure in this second quarter from a good quality outfit in Sydney Uni.
Well, the challenge certainly has been laid down. It sort of really feels like the last time these two played. Redland's got the hot start, but Uni came roaring back. Banuelos been moved into the ruck, gets his own clearance, sends it inside the forward 50. Davies has got the sit. Good spoil there from Staraj, but it lets Morrison in once again if he can try and get it. Tackled immediately, feeds the hand pass out. Stevenson should kick this. He does! And the students, oh, he said it felt like it was going goal for goal. It only seemed like about 5 minutes ago, but they have just gone bang, bang, bang. They are 8 points in front now here from Scottsdale Park. 7-4 to 6-2.
Yeah, you're right. They've kicked 3 since that Hamilman goal. And look, it's just coming from that midfield dominance, hasn't it? That time it was Manuelos that got the clearance from going up in the ruck. Tagliabue having a rest. And you wouldn't have picked that at this stage for him to get the clearance. But he did well. Kicked it long again. Like, that's the key. It just seems to be going an extra 10 or so metres down to that right of screen. And good work there to finish it off from Lewis Stevenson, who's probably up with Patoli Simmons buying for BOG as we speak.
So Redlands, they really need a steady here. Just get a little bit of composure back. Tagliabue gets the soccer off the ground, heads towards half-back. It's favoured, though, for the Bombers. Veal rides his opponent off it. Sydney University are now starting to really hunt the ball. Barkley feeds a hand pass. Now the kick inside forward 50. Patoli Simmons has been so good today. He's shown all class. He's got in the right spots at the right time. He's taken the saving mark and then sends it towards half-back, and that's just pitched inside the boundary. We'll have a throw-in. Do you consider sending a spare defensively here at the moment, Bob, when you've got a side that's really got a run on like Sydney University?
Well, I think they'd already done that. I think Yagmore had gone back there, and initially Carroll went with him, but now they've moved Carroll back, so Yagmore's taken up a more defensive role. But if you look at it, they've got Patoli, Simmons, Yagmore and Williams down there to try and hold the fort this quarter.
Tagliabue was favoured by the throw and goes to Stevenson. Will set it up towards the goal square. Big fight the back! That is a ripping mark there from Tristan Davies, and that's what we know he can do. That is a sensational grab. He was favoured by the kick. And he got his jumping boots on, sets it on its way and kicks the goal. What a 30 seconds for him. And Redlands are all at sea at the moment. That's his first of the afternoon for Tristan Davies, and it makes it 14 points the margin, 8-4 to 6-2.
Yeah, he got the great hairdo and got the great leap too, hasn't he? That was a fantastic mark. He's first year with the Sydney Uni boys, and he's kicked 37 goals. He's been a target up there in all the games he's played. He's been very quiet today, been well held, but that was that'll lift his confidence. Won't help Stephen Mills, who copped one in the Rebs earlier at his opponent. I think he's now been moved off him, and I think, who is it? It looks like Mitch Stellard's got the role back there. He's been going all right, Mitch Stellard. But yeah, good work from Sydney Uni. They're getting on top. And Stevenson again, he's been the key. They've got to get someone right on him.
So back in the middle. Malone wins it down decisively, goes towards Johnson, who is a left-footer, feeds a hand pass quickly, but was under siege. It's turned over. Sirakoski goes towards half-forward. Davies was pushed under at that time, but no mark taken. Williams comes out like a bull at a gate to try and bodyline it. Couldn't quite get it away. It's tied up at the bottom of the pack, and we'll have a stoppage. This Sydney University forward line is starting to look very potent.
Yeah, you can see the difference. The Sydney Uni, as you said, attacking the football now, and Redland on the sort of the back foot.
Curry, he threw it away that time, but no free kick. Play on out of the pack, and this could favour the Bombers. Cameron's got it, takes a bounce, 45 metres out towards Hamilman, the man at the moment for the Bombers. Couldn't quite take the mark he'd normally take, but applies the pressure. And the umpire says, give it to me. It's probably the easiest mark he's had all day, Matt Hamilman. He's just almost spent it before he got it.
Yeah, probably should have taken the hands instead of on the chest, but no, good defence.
Trying to come through his Spence. He's immediately ridden from Hiscox, who tapped it away. Goes towards the line, and Veal is more than happy to see it over.
Spence and Damien Stephen have got the job on Stevenson as we speak, and I just think they need a better match-up than that. I'd be certain to nearly put Patoli Simmons back into that midfield.
Well, Golden goes down the middle, goes over the back of Mills, who's been in the wars in this second quarter, who goes again, couldn't quite get it away. Banuelos fed a hand pass. Crockmall tried the soccer, then smothered his second kick, eventually getting it. Hunken, who's tied up for holding the ball. And the time that they had in the opening quarter of the Bombers, they just don't have anymore. The pressure has gone right up here from the University.
Yeah, they've got a sniff now, haven't they? They really can see a little bit of a kill ahead of them here.
They certainly can. It was a adventurous sort of a kick towards the outer side, but it's turned over. Cast through the middle. Short chipping pass. Pressure there, but a good mark taken from Keneally. He had to be strong in the hands, and he was that time, but that enterprising ball movement from the first quarter has really slowed up. It's a credit to Uni's defensive setups. Going short, Cameron. Yagmore. Prodigious left foot, sets it up. Ryan or Hamilman, take your pick. Well, initially, but neither did. Tagliabue. Well, I thought he was going to play on there. I thought he half-stepped there, Bob, but not to be.
Yeah, probably just didn't go over his mark, but yeah, was nearly tempted, wasn't he? Inexperience there from young Ryan. Had to get that ball to ground there in that marking contest.
Well, Tagliabue's just taking a tumble with the umpire. Robertson towards the broadcast wing, Davies. Well, he got a couple of metres there on Yagmore. And he took it nicely, but there's not much ahead of him. So he sort of just has to wait. Short with the pass, goes low to Cole. And Revel ensures it's spoiled. He's got the perfect view here in the commentary box. Good game so far, but University have just started to really get on top on this one. They lead by 13.
Yeah, been much better defensively today, Bruce Revel. I watched him a couple of weeks ago, and he was all at sea in defence, but he's kept Cole really quiet.
Malone fed the hand pass, but straight to Foster, who's immediately tackled. Of course, you can't miss Bruce Revel. The dreadlocks are quite noticeable. Certainly played a very good game so far today to keep Ed Cole quiet. Tap down, Christensen. Malone couldn't get it off the bottom. Tackle laid from Thompson. And we'll do it all again.
Yeah, Yagmore's one of those players that didn't hardly sighted in that first quarter and a bit, and they've thrown him back in defence. He's one that could really live for him this quarter. Stevenson,
one who's been good all day, sends it towards a one-on-one. Banuelos was pushed out of it from Williams, but he's immediately approached from Crockmall. He's gone the ground, and an umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt.
Just need his teammate to come in and give him a hand there and tap it out to him, and they were away, but no talk there from the Redland defenders.
Malone over the back, Revel, the man you mentioned 30 seconds ago. Fed it to Stephen, eventually kicked out defensively from Williams. Barton gets the good spoil. Mills gets there first for the Bombers, feeds it over the back, then a hand pass over the top towards Revel, who was put under a pressure immediately. Now it's turned over. Scrivenich, Foster, Stewart on the boundary. Good smother there from Mills. Gets it immediately back, Stewart. Then he's tackled. And that's a bit better from the Bombers to just tie that up.
Yeah, a bit more steel in the tackling in the last couple of minutes from Redland. That's what they needed probably 5 or 10 minutes ago. But they need to get the next goal or they're in strife.
That they certainly are. Johnson feeds immediately towards Miller. Steps inside nicely. Good looking ball as well to Hamilman. A little bit further out from goal than you probably like. But it's a good kick inside 50, but it just hits the grass. Immediately tackled Cameron. Spun and gone. Well, I feel like he thought he had more time than he thought, but he's immediately been pinged for holding the ball. And students can come away. Foster fed the hand pass back. Then a kick over the top. Finds Hiscox. Just forward to centre. Then goes in towards the forward 50, finds Morrison. It's an open forward 50 as well. Davies presents on the lead, then stops. So instead, Morrison is just going to have to set it up. I tell you what, the wind's carried that. That's gone 60, but just to the near side.
I was going to say it wasn't outside his range there when he actually took the mark right on 50, but he didn't seem confident, but he certainly got the distance.
Yeah, certainly. That kick would have carried about 60 metres, you'd feel. The wind took it very nicely, but just to the near side is back at the game. Barton got the spoil at the back, but it's immediately taken. Well done from Christensen and Samson Ryan. The big 2 metre lad kicks the wrong option. And the good delivery in the opening quarter has deserted the Bombers. And the students can come back through Veal. He's got to try and get past Keneally. Keneally does well to tie it up, but the numbers prevail for the students. Stevenson goes forward. That's a ripping kick. Just goes over the head, though, of Morrison. He's in a 2-on-1. Taps it to himself. Gets a little bit of space. And it goes out of play. But it looks like this wind is having more and more effect as this game goes along. These kicks are really carrying some real distance going to the right of screen.
Oh, no doubt. And Stevenson kicks at 60 every time he gets it. Just poor option there from Samson Ryan. He should have done a little bit better there, and Hamilman probably could have given him a better lead. But, yeah, that's the inexperience that is costing him at present.
Malone just lets it go over the boundary. But is that inexperience? Almost looked like just miscommunication between the forwards on that, between Ryan and Hamilman there, Bob.
Yeah, it probably was. Look, a player with more skills would have probably summed up the situation much quicker and much better. But he's a young, developing tall, so give him a bit of a chop out.
Well, the man we just mentioned, Ryan, well, the ball bounced horribly for him, and it's immediately turned over towards Barton, now towards the boundary. The students have the numbers. Kick up the line is a good one as well. A shot from about 55 metres out has gone a very long way, and that's a ripping kick. And it was Stevenson who's kicked that very nicely. He's probably become the best on ground in this second quarter. And Redlands are in major trouble. 9-5-59 to 6-3-39. Late stage of second quarter.
Yeah, look, got to stop the bleeding. Like, it's a bit monotonous from me, I suppose, today, just saying the same thing. But since probably midway through that first quarter, he's got right on top. Lewis Stevenson, he's a class act. He's an elite midfielder of this competition, and you just can't let him waltz around and kick the ball at will like he did then. And he's been the key for this comeback in the second quarter. Kick to himself, probably been involved in about 6 of their 9 goals. And, yeah, Redland have got to do something on him.
Well, that's 7 goals to 1 in this second quarter. It's been all Uni in the last 20 minutes in particular. Is back of the game. Miller will try and do something about it. Sends inside the forward 50. Not the greatest of kicks. Hamilman will get it over the back on the bounce. Ryan's all on his own in the square. It's a good kick as well from Hamilman. Good mark from Ryan. That's a bit better from the young man. It took courage coming across there. And he's going to line up. And thankfully, if you're a Bombers fan, stop the bleeding just a fraction if he kicks truly.
Yeah, no certainty from that set shot. Sampson, he's can be a little bit awkward at times in kicking for goal, but this is one they desperately need. Let's hope that the young fella can get this one through and give Redlands a much-needed boost.
So Ryan, 30 metres out, sets it on its way. The umpire moves a fraction, but it's a good kick from Samson Ryan and a much-needed goal for the Bombers. It brings it back to 14 points the margin, 9-5-59 to 7-3-45.
Yeah, well done to the young fella. He's been put under the microscope there with that poor kick inside 50 there where he had the chance of hitting Hamilman. But Hamilman's at least repaid the compliment, hasn't he, with a beautiful kick on the turn from 55 out, centred the ball beautifully. And he, as you said, courageous mark from the big fella. So that'll give his confidence a real big boost.
So very late stages of this second quarter. If you've just joined us, Redlands had all the running early. Shut out to a 17-point lead at quarter time. There is a bit of a breeze going to the right of screen, and Sydney University 7 goals to 2 in this second quarter. Goal either way before half-time could prove massive. Malone had the size advantage, won it well, then got the hand pass it further back. Finds Miller off the left foot. Well, that's a bit of a miss kick, but Hamilman will get there anyway. Good lead. That could be 50. That should be 50, but it's not paid. Goes towards Cameron. There's a free kick, and it is going to go the way of Clay Cameron. A little bit unnecessary there from the students' defender just to grab the jumper late because they had the numbers. I think it might have been Robertson, and Clay Cameron could kick 2 inside a minute for the Bombers.
Yeah, good work, Tiny Malone out of the middle. He got the tap initially over towards Miller, and then the ball got kicked in. And yeah, a very smart move from Cameron. He knew he was outnumbered, but he put his body in a position where the defender, Robertson, had to offend.
Cameron. Umpire was always running left on that occasion. So a minor score for the Bombers. That brings them to 7-4. 13 points down to the Students 9-5. Very late stages of this second quarter as we tick down towards half-time. It's been a good game so far. Certainly very much end-to-end football. In a lot of stages. The kick towards half-back. Malone front position. Spoiled the back from Tagliabue. Immediately tackled is Scrivenich. And then he got dispossessed and it's tied up. Under a pack. Emerging from there is Michael Carroll. So maybe one last chance for the Bombers. Malone, intelligent tap. Stephen, though, couldn't quite get it off the receive. Then he gets the ground ball. Miller keeps in the field of play, but Carroll got there first. Good reading off the kick. And he'll go short to Cordell.
Just trying to milk a bit of time off the clock here, Sydney Uni. They know that they can't afford to let Redland get one more before half-time.
Barton goes short with his kick. It was a good one, and Hiscox worked himself in the trouble and out of it, and he's got some speed. Goes forward to Bunwalos, just needs to get away from the tackler. There in Hunkin, and then Veal goes wide, and he'll find Josh Stern. Now he's not in doubt from here. Kicked 6 a couple of weeks ago against Aspley. It's been very good for the Students this year, and I reckon this might be right in his range.
Yeah, look, he's been well held today, though. He's hardly bothered to score us today, and he needs a lift in confidence, and this could give it to him if he kicks from 45 metres out on a slight angle.
So Stern right on the paint, sends it on its way, and the umpire is always going to his right. So a minor score to Josh Stern. Makes it 14 points the margin, 9-6 to 7-4. As Yagmore sends a long kick towards Malone out of the square. Malone, well, he's almost taken the mark, then got it to Cameron, and there's a lot of space ahead of the ball. He's just got to think about this. Goes towards his teammate in Marsh. Well covered, though, from the Uni defence. Barclay's immediately tackled. The numbers come for the Bombers. A good tackle from Christensen. Oh, I thought it was a good tackle, but it's been paid in the back. Sydney University are led off on that occasion.
Yeah, let off there, but they're just clawing their way back into this contest here, Redland. That was a beautiful kick from Yagmore and good work from Malone to get it out the back to Cameron. So they've had chances here late in this second quarter to get right back in it, and 14 points could be worse.
Short kick to Barton. Immediately hand passes off to Carroll. Then looks inboard, but not the greatest of kicks, and Hunkin, who's got a very good left foot, finds Cass. He's been a bit quieter in this second quarter, Phil Cass. He's just forward to centre. He's normally a very smart user with it. Takes his 10 metres, then steps inside, gets some space and sets it up. Mongrel sort of a ball, but that could work if Hamilman can get it. He lays the tackle, just not quick enough, and Barton shows a lot of composure towards Crockmale. Crockmale keeps it in, hand passes it short towards Stern, then goes to Barton. Barton runs his full measure, goes forward towards Davies, who's got to take it. He does it nicely. But there's not much ahead of the ball here for the Students, so he just has to hold it a bit, then send it long. Banuelos has got good position on Yagmore, but the kick carried just a fraction too much. Malone, last line of defence, immediately dispossessed. Banuelos, Morrison, 20 metres out, sets it on its way, and he has kicked a beauty. A little bit of style points as well with the check side, but that's a massive goal. Very, very late stages of this second quarter, and it sends it to a 20-point margin, 10-6-66 to 7-4-46.
Yeah, just to just take you back to where Phil Cass has got that ball in the half-forward flank there for Redland. He should have just turned and gone. It was late in the second quarter. They really needed a score up that end, and he just took a little bit too much time. Then he tried to take on the man at the mark, and a shocking kick into the forward line. Had no hope of hitting any targets there, and it's gone all the way down the other end, and Morrison kicked his third for the quarter. So very good effort. He's now matched up by Batoli Simmons. So that's the sort of, when you take a look at his quarter, they really, Redland realise that Morrison is a real danger down that forward line.
This bounce will be recalled. But that's massive for Sydney University's confidence. They really deserve this 20-point lead. They've played magnificent football in the second quarter. It could be more. They can get a break here quickly. Tagliabue got it away. Stevenson fed it out towards Hiscox. Gets a soccering sort of a ball inside the forward 50. Well done from Williams, but the hand pass was very poor. It lets the students in again. Some dance now to Stevenson. Good step inside. 40 metres out. On its way, and that's a ripper. That is goal number 9 for the second term for Sydney University, and they have put the foot down and gone in the 6th gear. 11-6-72 to 7-4-46. And Redlands, they've been prone to these lapses at stages in season 2019. Well, they've gone through one again.
Yeah, well, just a poor handball, wasn't it, from a bloke with a lot of experience, Williams. He really did well to sort of negate the contest and win possession, but then overcooked the handball. It went 10 metres sailing over the head of his teammate, and Morrison and Stevenson, they've kicked 6 between them for the quarter, and they've been outstanding for Sydney University.
They certainly have. We've played about 36 minutes into this second quarter. Well, that's because of the goals, and they might be not done yet. Oh, just as I say that, it's very lucky for the Bombers because Tagliabue was steaming inside 50. But a magnificent quarter there for the students. They were lacking a little bit of energy in that opening term, but they've come out 9-2 into that second quarter, and they take themselves with a 26-point lead, 11-6-72 to 7-4-46. We'll just run you through the goal kickers quickly, ladies and gentlemen. 3 goals each to Harry Morrison and Lewis Stevenson, and then singles to Bartholomeus Davies. We'll just have a look through here the list as well. Foster, Crockmale, and Will Sirakowski. Whilst for the Bombers, it's pretty much the Matt Hamilman show. He has 4, and then singles to Curry, Ryan, and Thompson. Bob Batty.
Yeah, great quarter from Sydney Uni. We mentioned a quarter time that the litmus test for Redland will be this second quarter, kicking into the breeze and having a handy little lead at 17 points at quarter time. It hasn't proved enough, and Sydney Uni, full credit to them. They came out, they had some more bounce in this step. They ran, they used the ball well, they kicked it long, and Stevenson has been the outstanding player on the ground. We said Batoli Simmons in the first quarter. Well, Stevenson with extra stars attached to his name has been absolutely brilliant in this second quarter and put on a clinic.
He certainly has, and we'll just run you through some of the other stats as well. They really started to get a top in a lot of areas. Sydney University, they're plus 11s in the clearances at the moment, 29-18. Inside 50s, plus 9, 33-24. Hit-outs at the moment, favouring Redlands, 33-21. But tackles as well, Redlands plus 10 in that statistic, but they've had a lot less of the ball, it must be said. And marks as well. It's been a high marking game from both sides at the moment, but it's really both sides took advantage of the wind going towards the rider's screen. But the students, 9-2 in that second quarter, and that brings us to half-time. Really entertaining game, this one, but the students put the foot down in that second quarter. We'll be back in about 15 minutes for the start of the second half. Second half about to get underway here from Scottsdale Park. And if you've just joined us, it's been a very entertaining affair. 18 goals in that first half, but Sydney University really put the foot down in that second quarter by kicking 9 goals to 2, and they find themselves 26 points to the good currently. 11-6-72 they find themselves, whilst Redlands, the home side, find themselves at 7-4-46. They've got a job to do to try and extract this one. Of course, the Bombers, they've only had 2 wins in season 2019. They're going to be looking for number 3. Riley Staraj and Bob Batty joining you for the coverage this afternoon. And Bob, Sydney University was simply fantastic in that second quarter.
They certainly were, wasn't it? It was great to see the long kicking and the kicking to position and the run and carry that they had, and they certainly lifted their confidence levels. I think we mentioned at quarter time they only had 3 or 4 that really had to put their hand up in the first quarter. Well, they had probably 11 or 12 all contributing in that second quarter. And Redland, they were the opposite, really, weren't they? They, apart from Batty Simmons, I thought his first half was good. Williams really tried hard in that second quarter. Little Scotty Miller's been working hard, but after that it dropped right away. And the big fella in the ruck's done pretty well, Tagliabue, to negate Tiny Malone. And look, he's going to have to really lift in this third quarter, Big Tiny, to give Redland first use of the ball and get the ball in. And they need a lift from experienced players, Cameron and also Yagmore in this quarter if they want to get back into it.
They certainly do. And of course, you look at some of the main contributors here for the students. It's your usual suspect. Lewis Stevenson was magnificent in that second quarter. He's up to 20 disposals as we're just about to start this second half. Bailey Stewart has the 15, Jake Veal the 14, and Bartholomeus has 12, but I reckon almost every one of them hit a target. So the Bombers have got a job to do to try and get back into this one. And we're all about to get underway. It sets itself up for something very intriguing. As back in the middle, the bounce favoured Tagliabue. Malone got his hand to it though just. Then he picks up the ball, gets it towards Cast. Now the kick inside 50 from Miller. The target is Cameron. He was held by the jumper. No free kick. Play on. Held again. Again, no free kick. Fed back from Barkley. The umpire says, give it to me. So first opportunity for the Bombers, of course. If you've just joined us, there is a bit of a breeze going to the right of screen. You'd probably give it 2 goals. So they've got that advantage. Malone. Miller. Spence. 50 metres out. I tell you what, that's a ripper! That has just gone up in the air and carried on and on and on. And that window I just mentioned put it right through the middle. Fantastic start for the Bombers in this second half. 20 points down. They find themselves 11-6 to 8-4. Great kick from Spence.
Yeah, no, it was a great snap, wasn't it? And that'll lift his confidence. But again, it was Malone. He won the first contest in the middle and got it out to Miller. And he did it again in that one. And Scott Miller quickly handballed to Spence, who looked as though he was under pressure, but the left foot kick just sailed beautifully. Looked like it had that cross-current wind. Just grab it and just rotate it through that through those goals. So that's what they need, but they don't need 1. They need 4 in a row here to really get their teeth into this game.
That they certainly do. And of course, even though they're only playing for pride today, still a pretty decent crowd, so it'll be good to get the crowd behind them if they can get a run on. Stevenson, that's disposal number 21, sends it inside towards the forward 50. A good tackle laid. Empire says, give it to me. And we'll do it all again. Malone wins it down quite comfortably towards the space, but he's going to come inside 50. Golden, that's a good kick towards Foster. Just missed his outreached hands. Banuelos tried to lay the tackle, but Williams did very well. Then sets it up towards the wing. That's going to be a good mark if that Bomber can take it. They can't. Instead, the students come inside. Davies, the target, almost took the mark just off the hands. Goes at it again. Scrivenich. He's immediately tackled. There'll be an opportunity here for the students. Seems like both sides, they're really struggling with their forward 50 entries going to the left of screen, Bob. Yeah,
look, you got Staraj did well then to get the big fella off the marking contest. Looked like he's a chance in.
Bombers have the numbers at the back of the pack. Miller fed it to Williams. Williams sends it inside out, sort of a ball, just to try find some territory. The boundary's his friend, and that's what he gets. So, good kick to gain 55 metres, you feel, and just get it out of that deep pressure zone.
Yeah, they've got the wrong end though, Redland, haven't they? They're under the pump there in defence. They need to get the ball quickly up to the other end and get it into Hamilman or Cameron.
So Malone and Tagliabue, it's been an intriguing battle all day. Malone, there's a whistle, and it's going to be a recalled throw-in Did look like he dropped a fraction short. Who would you give the points to at the moment, Bob, in that ruck battle?
Maybe just Malone, but Tagliabue's kept at it pretty well and been a really good influence in that second quarter when they got on top. So it's up for grabs, that one.
Give the honours to Malone that time just. Punch forward there from Spence. Christensen gets it away. Miller. Kick was good to Yagmore because it fell nicely. And Yagmore, that is a magnificent kick. Will that carry? It did to Cameron. It was a magnificent kick from Yagmore, and that's his biggest strength by a mile. I reckon that's carried 55 metres and hit Cameron at the absolute perfect spot. And Clay Cameron's lining up here for goal.
Yeah, needs to lift Yagmore. I mentioned Cameron and Yagmore are the keys in this third quarter, and Clay's taken a few good marks. Hasn't bothered to score as yet, so this will be an important kick for him.
So for 2 in a row to the Bombers. Bring it back to 14. He's kicked it very nicely. He's done what he's had to do. Good start to the second half for Redlands. They bring it back to a 14-point margin, 11-6-72 to 9-4-58, early stages, third quarter.
Yeah, and again, it was a quick kick. I think it was Christensen that it might have been even a missed kick, but or it might have been Scott Miller from that far wing that kicked it quickly, and it wasn't good off the boot, but it luckily found Yagmore. And as you quite rightly said, I remember Peter Yagmore as a 12-year-old kicking off from full back in a school game at the Gabba and hitting the centre of the ground. He's always been an absolutely prodigious kick, and nothing better than that one then to Cameron. It was a ripper.
And you can see why they want him forward too. He can be such an offensive weapon from half forward in that link of the chain. And for a team crying out for good delivery, he was good on that occasion. Tagliabue wins it down that time. Stewart ridden off the ball. He's late call for a free kick. The tackle just lingered a little too long, according to umpire Jonathan Angus. Stewart has gone in the middle. He's very good in that first half, Bailey Stewart. He's been good all year, truth be told. Under a little bit of pressure, but still gets the kick away. But not the greatest. He'll find Hunkin to Marsh. Marsh goes forward, but again, his kick's not great either. And Barton, well, that's a really good mark there from Barton. Immediately feeds it off to Robertson. Robertson, ground ball towards Cole. Spun 360, but still extracted the hand pass. Now the pressure comes in. And it'll be a ball up at half forward. So Redlands have done well to stop that attacking movement and keep it in their half of the ground on that occasion. But they're going to need to get a couple of more goals pretty quickly and give themselves a real sniff. Back of the contest. It's fed towards the boundary. It goes over.
I see young O'Sullivan's got the job now on Stevenson. He's an athletic type, O'Sullivan. So let's see if he can run with
Do you think that's a better matchup?
Well, physically it is. It's he's got some strength, so in the contest he'll be able to hold his own. Whether he can get over the ground like Stevenson's another thing.
Tagliabue, the throwing favoured him, but he just missed it. It's a very late call for a free kick. He was disadvantaged for his size there. Let's go on the way of Johnson. Sends it inside the forward 50. Hellman, the target, goes way over the back. The Students have the numbers. That's a very dangerous hand pass. You don't want to be doing that across goal. And it's gone over the boundary, but I think that was quite ill-advised. Had quite a bit of elevation, didn't really favour anyone.
Yeah, Barkley had his heart in his mouth there after that handball, I think, and little Matty Thompson nearly got a toe poke onto that through the goal. So this is their chance here. They need to be clever, and they need to be smart around here and feed it back to someone that can kick a goal.
Tagliabue towards the boundary, but it went straight to Cameron. Cameron's missed. But the Bombers are peppering. This is a really enterprising start for him in this third quarter.
Just need to take those half chances, though, don't they, to really get back into the contest. They've got to kick those.
They really do, and of course, with this breeze, they need to obviously get back in it, but try to get a bit of a margin before the final quarter to give themselves a real chance. Barton towards just forward to centre. No mark taken from Morrison. Tap to the front of the pack. Spence. Well, Yagmore didn't expect it, so it's turned over. But he lays a good tackle there on Carroll. Spence gets it away towards Hunkin. Hunkin, who's a left footer, has to step inside. Good kick to Cameron. Now he hand passes it on. This is better enterprising movement. Johnson, good kick to Keneally. Not 15 play on, snaps towards goal. This should be a goal. It is. Jai Keneally showed good composure there when called to play on. Of course, he is from Springwood and has played quite a bit of football for Morningside as well. Was very good on that occasion. That's 3 in a row to the Bombers, and it brings it back to 7 points, 11-6, 72 to 10-5, 65.
Yeah, no, that's we said they need 3 or 4 at the start of this quarter. Well, they've got 3 of them. They've got to keep working hard, though. It was good work. They're starting to win the clearances at ground level, and that's where Uni really got on top in the second quarter, the students. But they're starting to wrestle it back the other way, and one of the reasons is they've negated Bartholomeus and Stevenson at these stoppages and centre bounces. So let's see what happens in this one.
So back in the middle. It'll be Malone against the much shorter man in Bunwalos. Malone won it down that time, but it wasn't really to anybody in particular. Bartholomeus tried to get it away, but he was pushed as he kicked it. Good tackle late on Crockmale from Batoli Simmons. He's still at half back at the moment, it looks like, but would you still want to put him on the ball?
Well, look, he's been very rock solid back there, and he and Williams have been holding that defence together, so certainly need him back there in the last quarter. I'm not sure about this one. Maybe throw the dice and get him on ball. Be a good move.
He's tied up on that occasion.
See how Miller and also O'Sullivan go in there initially, and then see if they can negate that first.
Malone wins it down that time. Miller extracts it. Hamilman, front position, takes the mark. He's been a bit quieter since that opening term where he kicked 3 in the first 10 minutes. Goes forward to Yagmore. Does a little step. Thompson immediately under pressure and is caught. Yagmore goes back for a second bite of the cherry. The umpire says, give it to me. Probably one of the only options that Yagmore had on that occasion, but not to be. At least they've tied it up. Malone got the jump, got the tap. O'Sullivan sends it forward. Cameron the target. Good spoil there at the back. Barton comes in, hand passes it off towards Rogers, who's immediately tackled. Eventually fed back. Sam, Stephen, goes further wide to Ryan. Well, that's a real worm burner sort of a ball. Not the greatest of kicks. Bartholomeus feeds it back off the hands. They're going to do well to extract this Uni if they can. Cordell then goes over the top. Still trying to find it. Bartholomeus again. They're really rattling it around. Eventually they'll extract, and now they can go through Sirakoski, who is a lefty. Runs inboard, hand passes it through. They've done this really nicely. Hiscox, the Glebe Greyhound, 2 bounces, 45 metres out, sets it on its way, and that is a ripping goal from the students. They made it look hard initially, but once they got the break, Sirakoski did well to get it inside to Hiscox. And from there, it was just simply elementary, and it gives them that key goal, 12-6, 78 to 10-5, 65. 13 points the margin. And it's been a very entertaining game of footy.
Yeah, no, it was a very good run from defence, wasn't it? It was a clever kick through into the midfield where Sirakoski got it, and they quickly moved it from there. And it was a lovely finish from Hiscox. Once he got that break, as you said, the Glebe Greyhounds, I think he used to run there from the red box. And once he's on the lure, he's pretty hard to stop. So good finish there from Hiscox. He's had a fairly quiet game, the former Sydney Swan, but that's one that they really needed, the students.
He's done that a few times this year when they've needed a goal. He's just been able to get off the leash, pardon the pun. Of course, the former Glebe Greyhound, he's just got that real good run going defensively. That'll be a good confidence booster for them. So Sydney Uni get the reply. Tagliabue, Bartholomeus. Now to Golden. It's pursued by a couple. Just gets the hand pass, but he's called for a throw. So it's going to be a 3 kick to the Bombers. It's eventually fed back. Kick inside towards the forward 50. It's a good one as well. And it finds Cameron. And Clay Cameron started to really involve himself in this third quarter. Bobby's looking a bit dangerous now.
Yeah, no, he needs to lift. He had a fairly quiet first half. He usually kicks 2 or 3 a game on average. So he's kicked 1 this quarter. Let's see if he can get 2. But good marks, good work there for Scott Miller to lay a beautiful tackle there against Adam Goulden, and lovely finish there to Cameron.
So Cameron will come in to get the quick reply. Kicks it from about 40, always going to the right. Carroll's content to see that over the line, so only the minor brings it back to 2 straight kicks. It's 12-6 to 10-6. It's Golden. Goes to play on, then steps inside, goes short off the left to Stewart. Not that much movement ahead of the ball for Stewart, so he's going to have to go to Foster. He judged it nicely, and there's a couple of free options on this broadcast wing if he went quickly, but he instead held it up. So he goes very short to Bartholomeus, barely the 15. He goes short to Hiscox, who goes short to Stewart. Well, these short chipping balls have worked out okay. That missed Hiscox, but it might work out all right. Sirakoski now pulls the trigger, goes long with a kick. They've got the height, the Bombers, but they didn't have the positioning. And Ed Cole took a pretty simple chest mark in the end, and you'll line up from about 30.
Yeah, Billy Sam just didn't have touch and feel on his opponent there, and Ryan looked like he was in position to at least get a spoil him, but sailed over his head, and Cole was just sitting there unattended. So, important kick. This will really take the sting out of the Bombers.
He sets it on its way, bending back, but not enough. So, minor score. So, one behind, and it brings it to 13 points. The margin, 12-7 to 10-6. Spatoli Simmons will look to bring it back into play. He goes down pretty much the middle. Golden has front position, but it comes off hands. Curry was tied up with a lot of numbers. Now Curry will get it, feeds it quickly to Cast, who's bowled over there from Tagliabue, but was good enough to get it away. Ryan hand pass to Spence. It's turned over to Cole. He's immediately tackled magnificently, but got it to Stewart. Stewart gets a short chip that is just landed in the field of play. Right on the paint. And it'll be a throw in.
Just had to be smarter with their handball use in Redland. They were away. They certainly had the numbers, but they just overused the handball and kept on putting it in the wrong spot. But let's see what they can do from this stoppage.
So Tagliabue has the weight advantage here on Ryan and shows it that time. Tries to break one tackle. Ryan, though, got it off the deflect and sends it forward. Malone has positioned himself resting further afield. Cast got it beautifully off the deck. Sets it up. Hammelman's the target if he can get there. Well done from the students. They played good defence that time. And Barton just got the good position from the kick and did it nicely. Sends it towards half-back, really towards grass. Malone, well, he had the space and the time, but he missed it initially. Now gets it. Feeds it back to Williams. Williams tries to break the tackle, but couldn't. He really misjudged the stiff arm, I feel. And Banuelos has got the free kick on the wing. He'll quickly go. It's a 50. I was going to say fed it inboard, but I think Williams gave some feedback. Not of the nicest kind either, and Banuelos can kick a goal to really take the sting out of the sails here for the Bombers.
Yeah, just, again, poor handball use, wasn't it? Tiny shouldn't have probably overrun the footy initially. Should have got the footy before it got behind him. Then the handball, he had a couple of options and went the longer option, but it was a loopy handball and put Williams under the pump.
So Banuelos will have to kick from about 48, sets it on its way. It's a good-looking kick. That's a fantastic kick in these conditions. Not easy to judge with the breeze, and that really hurts the Bombers' charge. They're now down by 19 points, 13-7. 85 to 10-6, 66. A little bit of ill discipline there from the Bombers to give up that 50, but that play on the wing, well, I think they'd rather have that 30 seconds back.
Yeah, look, that's 2 in a row, wasn't it? Because they had, as I said, just before that passage of play, they had control of the footy and had 3 or 4 handballs that took them nowhere. And in the end, Ed Cole got the ball back, and off we went with Sydney Uni kicking a goal through Ben Walos. Sounds like a Spanish tennis player, but good finish from the big man. He's doing the chop out with Tagliabue in the ruck.
So back in the middle, Redlands need to get a couple quickly. Tagliabue won it immediately. Bartholomeus, Stewart goes towards the forward line. Big pack of players. Well done there, though, from Revel. It was good kick and good composure. Cast has got a little bit of space. Runs his full measure. Goes short with the kick to Keneally, who will wheel around and See, not that many players free, so he's going to have to take the risk to Spence to try and change the angle a little bit. Who will now set it up. Not a good position, though, because Tagliabue can float over. Didn't take the mark, but forced the spoil. And it's fed back beautifully. Barton goes further wide to try find Foster. Lands in the field of play. Over the top, Barton, who's run hard to get the receive. Runs his full measure, takes a bounce, goes inboard. Hand pass inside, wasn't the greatest. Big hit late. Could have been holding the ball, not paid. I think the hand pass was there, so correct decision. Bartholomeus gets the back. Hiscox tries to break the tackle, extracts the hand pass to Stern. He's dispossessed. Sam Batty Simmons bombs it towards the forward 50. Hamilman's got a job to do here. He was pushed off it and lost positioning. Well, I think it was a good bump laid by Carroll. And just to edge him out, it'll be a throw in.
Yeah, they're still tackling hard and working hard. They just got to use the ball a bit better. There was a poor kick inside 50 there. Gave Hamilman not much chance at all. So got to lower their eyes or kick it longer and kick it to a better position.
So Ryan and Tagliabue will resume hostilities. Tagliabue won it decisively with that size advantage. Goes towards the boundary and it goes out of play. I feel like really since quarter time they're kicking inside forward 50 from Redlands. I know they've got a couple back in this third quarter, but it's been quite poor, to be honest with you, the way they've entered. Yeah,
their first quarter entries were much clearer and cleaner and put them under pressure, didn't they? But Barton has been very good back there for Sydney Uni and really held them up on a number of occasions here.
Ryan won the tap down on that occasion, but...
You mentioned a bit earlier in the quarter, when's the time to put Batty Simmons back into the midfield? I think it's now. The game's on a knife edge here. They're 3 goals down. They need to kick another 4 at least this quarter, and he could give them a spark in the midfield.
You certainly think so, and I think it is the time. Stewart goes short with the kick. Well, he tried to get a long kick, but it just didn't quite come off. Redlands to Stephen. You go wide. Finds O'Sullivan. Wheels around, sets it up. That kick has got some serious carry. Ryan couldn't take it. It's come off hand, so it's called play on. And it'll be another stoppage. Would you rather see that kick land about 20 metres out, Bob, instead of going right to the square where it's more easier to negate?
Yeah, look, it certainly sets up the defence to punch that one through, doesn't it? They didn't on that occasion, but makes it easier for them.
Ryan got the tap down. Hand pass towards the boundary. Christensen could have picked it up, and Barkley is more than happy to see it over.
They need to create some space from these stoppages. They're just being closed down from the Sydney Uni. They've got plenty of numbers back there, and it'll be difficult to get an easy kick at goal here.
Tagliabue pushed his opponent under it there in Ryan. Fed a hand pass. It was well done. Finds Cole. Cole goes back to find his teammate there in Stevenson. Goes forward. Malone last 9, but he's got a little bit of a case of the fumbles at the moment. Then gets tackled. Just gets it away to Sam. A little bit too slow. Davies got him. Now they've put themselves under pressure. And Batty Simmons is escorted over the boundary. A little bit of what have you. Maybe not the starters thing for the students to do it right in front of the Vic Point Sports Club. Because we've got some very direct feedback.
I think Batty Simmons just trying to stir up his team, though. He's certainly probably a little bit frustrated that he hasn't had the impact that he really wants this quarter. So let's see what happens.
Malone won it down, but it went straight to Stewart. He couldn't extract Stephen. Williams goes further afield. Yagmore can fly from the back, but it's a good spoil from Rogers. Haven't minded his game today. And then goes inboard. Good kick as well. Finds Scrivenich. Stewart, 75 metres out. That's a ripping kick of the football. Just goes over the back. Mills, he did well to fend off. Finds Sam, who was immediately under pressure. And it wasn't a great kick as well. You could tell he was under pressure. It's going to be coming right back here for the students. Kick inside forward 50 is a good one. And that's poor marking from the Bombers. And Banuelos, who kicked a ripping goal on this broadcast side of the ground about 5 minutes ago, has got an opportunity for his second of the quarter.
Yeah, Tiny Malone not respecting his opponent there. Got to be better than that. Their ruckman goes forward like that. You got to be with him. He was nowhere near him.
So Banuelos will kick from about 45. Sets it on its way. The wind holds it up a fraction. Big fly from Davies. He's got a case at the moment of the jumps. Falls to the bottom of the pack. Hand pass wide. Cole to kick a goal. Cole misses to the right. Tell you what, Tristan Davies, he's really feeling it at the moment.
Got those springs in the heels. He had a fairly quiet game when you look at it overall, but he's giving them a target. He's had that one big hanger. But yeah, certainly he's been well held so far today.
Batty Simmons short to Revel. Redland, do you feel they've just got to try and win the game? Well, we mentioned Davies. And it's all well and good to take and risk, but that option from our view here really did not look on, and Tristan Davies can line up for goal number 2.
Well, you don't have to get the springs in the heels when you've hit on the chest from that one from Bruce Revel. He's had a good game so far, Bruce, today, but that was a poor turnover and costly one for his team.
So Davies, this could really hurt. Sets it on its way, and he's kicked a goal. So for all the Bombers' hard work in this third quarter, it's back to the halftime margin, 14-8-92 to 10-6-66, later stages of this third quarter.
Yeah, you can just feel the air just going out of the balloon, don't you? You just see a slow leak with the Redland team as we speak, and a couple of undisciplined things. We mentioned the one with Williams, where Croshmore kicked that important goal, and Tiny Malone didn't go with Ben Walos there and didn't respect him, and then a poor kick from Revel. So some bad errors from the Redland team, and when you get tired, when you're a bit younger, you make mistakes like that, and that'll be one that Bruce hopefully can learn from.
So this game is really teetering here for the Bombers. They've got to find something special to extract this. Malone got the punch, went straight to Robertson, who the arrogance just stepped past to Cole, but he couldn't quite pick it up, so falls to the bottom. Malone then lays a tackle. Stern gets a socker. Goes past Hunkin, got the unlucky bounce, then got it on the receive. Well done, good persistence. Miller feigned a hand pass, then goes back inside, puts his teammate and Stephen under pressure, finds Sam, ditto, Stephen. Third time, feeds it back to Batty Simmons. Want the ball in his hands, he'll find it wide to Curry. Curry over the top, it's a good kick to Hunkin. And he's called to play on though, Harry Hunkin, so he's just going to have to go right back to Curry. Curry goes down the line, but it's out on the full, and you can just feel they're starting to lose it a bit here at the moment, Redlands. They've lost a bit of composure in the last 10 minutes, Bob.
Yeah, well, look, they're handballing when they should be kicking. They've got a fairly strong breeze. We mentioned 2 or 3 goal breeze, and they're messing around with handballs going nowhere. So just get on the boot and get it forward.
Stevenson. You'd think it'd probably be at least in the figuring for best on ground at the moment. Goes across the ground. Ambitious kick, but a good kick finds Barkley. Redlands have done okay to at least cover this, but Spence was drawn in to try and lay the tackle on Barkley. So he went to Cordell, but well done from Hamilton to put the pressure on Hiscox. Tries to clean up the mess. It's just gone out of play, and Hamilton, maybe in a little bit of anger, sends a torpedo 60 metres away.
Yeah, look, got to be careful with that. If he kicked it right out of bounds, it could be a bit of time wasted given by the umpire, but I think that it was clearly out of bounds before Hiscox kicked that footy. But yeah, look, he is a bit frustrated, I think, Big Matty. He's had great start to the game and been fairly well held since then.
It's a real credit to the students' defence to really shut him down. He has been quieter since that opening 15-20 minutes. Miller sends it long from 55 metres out towards the square. That's a fantastic mark taken. I believe that was Samson Ryan who's taken that. He got good position. Of course, he is a very tall young man. He's 202 centimetres and he used his body nicely. He's a bit of a lighter frame, but he did well there, Bob. Oh, yeah, that's a great mark from Samson Ryan, the boy from Toowoomba. Look, he's had his moments today, but he's taken 2 really courageous marks and kicked, hopefully, his second goal from the second one. So let's see how he goes. Yep, no problems. But, yeah, look, he is developing. He's only a beanpole of a kid. I think you're underselling him. I think he's nearly 205 centimetres and still growing. So he's going to end up a good size, and
Yeah, look, he is developing. They take a bit of time, those big ruckmen. Remember Zach Smith and Jake Spencer. They took a long time to develop as young country Queenslanders, and this kid's probably in the same boat.
That's goal number 2 for him, and gives Redland something. But you just feel that 10 minutes in this third quarter and that second quarter as a whole might cost them in the end, because when they've got their run on today, they've showed some really exciting football and see sort of what the future's like. But then these lapses have been really disappointing.
Yeah, just turnovers, isn't it? But yeah, good work, Scott Miller again. He's been very good for him today.
Malone wins it down, but straight to Bartholomeus, who's rising by the minute here this afternoon. Sends it forward. Williams, good courage, but good spoil there from Davies. Then gets it off the receive. Cole feeds it wide off the hand pass. Fed between hands. Smothered off the boot of Bartholomeus, who worked hard to try and get that footy. Mills fed back. Cass down the line. Got to be perfect with the kick. Well, it almost was, but it's still bouncing around. Curry couldn't do much with it. Now it'll come inside. Golden, and immediately turned over to Malone. He'll then go further afield. Yagmore's got to sit under this. He took a nice mark and he can wheel around. Ryan's all on his own in the 50. If he can get it there, that's where he heads. 1-on-1 against Barton. Well, he just lost his feet there a little bit. Did Samson Ryan. Well done from Barton to put the pressure on. It'll be a throw-in in the forward pocket.
Yeah, you can see the experience of Barton there, wasn't it? Any other defender there from Sydney Uni probably would have panicked a little bit, because he had 5 metres out the back there, Samson Ryan, but Barton didn't panic. He got his body, just a bit of touch on him in the end, enough to get a spoil and out of bounds.
So boundary throw-in. Tagliabue wins decisively. Curry tried to intercept and got a tap on. Stewart lays the tackle. And Joe Keneally will have another throw-up. Ryan wins it down, but he goes straight to Golden. Golden goes wide. Hand pass fed inside to Barkley, who turned into the tackle. The umpire gives him benefit of the doubt. So another opportunity here for the Bombers. They'd love one before three-quarter time, just to give them a little bit of a sniff in that final term. Tagliabue. Williams is pushed high up the ground, tried to get it, then does. Then breaks a tackle, goes back to Cass. Cass has got to find a target. Goes inside, good kick. All composure there from Phil Cass, and he's found Clay Cameron, who's been very lively at times in this third quarter, but he must kick this to keep the Bombers alive.
Yeah, he's missed a couple. He snapped one that just missed, and then a set shot that missed, so he needs this one. Just a little kick up there for Darcy Marsh. Just a couple of little touches in close there, and a couple of little smothers. He's very new to this NEAFL standard, and he's slowly finding his feet.
Cameron directly in front, sets it on its way, but it was always trending right. That's 1-2 to Clay Cameron. He has had his moments today, but again, inaccuracy just killing him. And brings it back to 19 points the margin as Stevenson goes long down the middle. And Uni have done this a few times this year. It looks like it's certainly a set play. Sierakowski goes wide, finds Carroll. Beautiful ball movement. Davies is over the top for the hand pass. If he wants to go there, instead he doesn't. He's only got Foster long. So instead he held up a little bit and goes back. Sierakowski, now he's got an option across the ground. That's Golden. Golden goes further wide. And finds a teammate there in Bartholomeus. Barkley, 75 metres out, goes towards the forward 50. Coming across, trying to take that one is Cameron. Couldn't quite. Scrivenich, he's immediately tackled from Ryan. That was a really good kicking set play there, Bob. They really opened up the ground well there very nicely, but well done from Redlands to get back.
Yeah, look, they just he didn't have anything to go forward there, did he, Michael Carroll, when he got the footy? But beautiful kicking from Stevenson, wasn't it? Just straight up the middle, into the breeze, 65 metres.
Revel tries to break the tackle, just gets it away. Hand pass further forward. Stephen, they've got the run on here, the Bombers. The kick inside 50 is good to Hamilman, who's taken it very nicely. He had the sit here, Hamilman, but he had to do it to just try and get across, and the kick inside there from Clay Cameron was absolutely superb.
Yeah, good work. Look, he bit the bullet, Bruce Revel, didn't he? He took on the players, got a great handball through, and then they moved the ball quickly. Once you take a risk, you put the defender under pressure, and even with the experience of Barton, Hamilman was able to get a metre on him.
So Hamilman to bring it back to 13 and give the Bombers some momentum. Heading into three-quarter time, sets it on its way. It was always to the right and one behind, but good quarter there from the Bombers. They probably feel like they should have got a bit more reward for effort, but it keeps them within striking distance. 14-8-92 to 11-8-74 here. Very entertaining game of football, high-scoring game of football. And we'll just run you through the goal kickers now. We'll start, of course, with the students. And they've had multiple goal kickers today, it must be said. Morrison has kicked 3, Stevenson's kicked 3, Tristan Davies with 2, and then singles to Bartholomeus, Foster, Hiscox, Crockmale, Sirakoski. Whilst for the Bombers, 4 to Hamilman, 2 to Ryan, and then singles to Cameron, Curry, Keneally, Spence and Thompson. Bob?
Yeah, look, a better quarter from Redland. They had to really dig deep into that third quarter, and they did. Look, they certainly at times there it looked like Sydney Uni were going to get right away. They kicked 3 goals that quarter into the breeze, Sydney Uni, and Redland had chances. They had 8 scoring shots that quarter, but kicked 4-4. They needed to probably convert a couple more to get right back into it. You would think Sydney Uni, with this 3-goal lead, will go on to a nice little victory and give themselves a chance to slip up the ladder. How's the Canberra and Aspley game going, Riley?
Well, Canberra is still in front quite significantly at the moment. It's a 27-point margin, so the Hornets have brought it back a bit. But, of course, if the students win today, they will certainly look at moving into the top 4. They will jump Aspley in far as points. Of course, Aspley have the superior percentage, and it will probably come down to next week when both sides take on the students. Of course, they take on Southport, and the Hornets take on the Thunder. But that's next week's story. We've got 1 quarter to go here. There's still plenty to come. And you just think it might just come down to the wire. We'll be back in about 5 minutes for the start of the final term. about to get underway here in the final turn from Scottsdale Park, and we certainly hope that it will be a grandstand finish in this one, but you've just got the feeling that Sydney Uni, they're going to be able to secure a final spot in the next 30 minutes. They find themselves 3 goals to the good as we're about to get underway in the final term. 14-8-92 to the Bombers, 11-8-74. Riley Staraj and Bob Batty joining you for the coverage this afternoon. And Bob, whilst the Bombers were much better in that third quarter, they just really missed some opportunities and showed a little bit of ill discipline. Yeah,
look, just at times where they overused the footy, when they went direct and kicked it longer, and I can remember the one Yagmore got to give to Cameron. Like when they moved it quickly and long, they looked very dangerous, but too often they were overusing the football for sure.
So the next 30 minutes are going to be massive for the students. As we're about to get underway, final term, opening bounce. Tagliabue wins it down over Malone on that occasion. Good tackle laid there on the wing. Well, just inside the centre square from Veal on Curry. And we'll do it all again. Of course, the students, they are going with a breeze in this final term. And if it's anything like the second, they'll take full advantage. Cass wheels around, sends it inside 50. Good kick to Spence, but just overcooked a fraction. Tagliabue going a lot lower to the ground than we normally see him. He's immediately tackled, and first opportunity for the Bombers.
Yeah, he just did that target fill, didn't he, with Spence? He was by himself there, just kicked it over his head.
Christensen sets it up. Contest coming up. Cameron could have been held. No free kick. Missed Hammelman. Barton goes in between 3. Stevenson, best on ground for mine. Fed it back, and now it'll eventually go to Barton, who's got a bit of space, and he's a lefty as well, so he's on the right side for him. His approach goes over the top with the hand pass. It's a good one as well. Finds Cole. Sorry, it's turned towards the forward 50. Good kick. That's all class from the students. And Banuelos, who has been
50.
And another 50. And that's the second time he's been the recipient of that this afternoon, Bob, and it's going to result in his second goal.
Yeah, no, I think it was Justin Curry that got too close to the area there that Banuelos had the footy, and that's going to cost you. And certainly it's a learning curve for these young Redland players, but you can't afford to be doing that.
So Banuelos gets the crucial first goal this final quarter. And that's massive for Sydney University. They go to a 4-goal lead. 15-8-98 to 11-8-74. And if as results currently stand, Sydney Uni will move into the top 4.
Yeah, that's, of course, depending on GWS losing tomorrow, isn't it? With they play the Brisbane Lions, is that right?
That is correct. So they go in underdogs down there, but GWS, they have shown at stages this year how good they can be at this level. But as it currently stands, they are in the top 4. And if they would love to get a home final, especially considering where they were 6 weeks ago, as back in the middle, that bounce will be recalled. It's been a pretty amazing turnaround for Sydney University, hasn't it, Bob?
Yeah, look, I think they've, as I mentioned at the start of play, they've got 11 players under 21 years of age. They've got a lot of young boys that have come through the Swans Academy that have played together, and they've really mixed in well in this second half of the year.
It's tied up under the pack, and we'll do it all again.
Just the movement of the footy was good, wasn't it, Riley? Like they had it in the back half there, and as soon as they moved it out of the Barton's kick, they looked dangerous, didn't they?
Sierakowski to Davies, couldn't take it. Coldo on the bounce to Stevenson. Goes in front of him, but well done there from O'Sullivan to win it. And he'll send it towards the wing. One-on-one contest. Golden and Cass. Cass does very well to get it away. Feeds the hand pass. It's fed between hands. Batoli Simmons looks like he's moved in the middle in this final term. Sends it further afield. Back to Cass. Goes long. And that's a good kick. If it gets there, it does. And Matt Thompson has got a massive kick coming up here for the Bombers to bring it back to 18.
Yeah, good work, Luke O'Sullivan. He moved on to Stevenson start of the third quarter, and that was the bigger body. And look, he might have got a good bounce over there, but he did well to win possession against Stevenson, and good finish there from Cars to Thompson.
Thompson, 45 metres out. That's a good old-fashioned Stephen Kernahan tumbler, and unfortunately, it's to the right. So 23 points the margin now. 15-8 to 11-9. They need to take every opportunity here.
Yeah,
the
exactly
Redlands.
my words there too, Riley. I was thinking exactly the same. They're not going to get many opportunities, but when they do get them, they're going to have to take them.
Well, they go down the middle again here, the students. It was a great kick from Stevenson. Well done from Yagmore. Almost last line of defence. Revel feeds it well to Hunkin, but he got a shocking bounce, and now he's pursued there by Scrivenich, and he's gone for holding the ball. And Scrivenich can go towards the pocket, and that is really poor from Redlands. Jake Hiscox was there for about 15 seconds, I reckon, and he can have a shot from the boundary.
Yeah, no, he certainly was standing there by himself for a long, long time. So it's a tough kick from there. I know Hamilman kicked one from there early in the day, but it's always a tough pocket to kick goals from over here.
So Hiscox to send it out to 29, sets it on its way, keeps it very low, but it's to the far side, so it's back to that 4-goal margin. And Redlands, you surely play to win from here, don't you, Bob? Take every risk you can.
Yeah, got to take plenty of risks now. Yagmore should just go long and direct, and let's see what he does.
He goes towards the tip of the square, trying to find Thompson. It was a good kick, but great spoil there from Golden. Coming in Hunkin. A little bit slow. Put Thompson under pressure. Fed it back, though. Good composure. Back to Hunkin, but their handball game after quarter time has really let down the Bombers, I reckon. They've just been really sloppy by hand.
Yeah, no, you've got to protect the... well, if you're going to give a handball, give it to someone that's on the burst and can really go over the lines. And they're giving handballs for handball's sake at the minute. Didn't really help anyone, that handball from Damien Stephen.
Malone took it himself to Marsh, to Stephen, immediately tackled. What do you thought of Damien Stevens' game this afternoon, Bob? He's had a lot of possessions, but...
He finds the footy, doesn't he? But look, it's just how much he hurts you when he's got the footy. You look at the midfielders of Bartholomew, Stevenson, when they've got it. Stewart, they've hit targets. I don't think he hits enough targets.
Malone, Marsh, really good composure there. The breakaway, Hamilman's in a 1-on-2. Carroll got a soccer. It was nicely done because it went to Stewart. Then it was immediately cut off there from Miller, but they win it back anyway. Stewart fed it back to Rogers, to Bartholomeus. He's a really classy midfielder, Jake Bartholomeus. Sends it forward, sets the kick nicely, goes a free kick. It's going to go the way of the students. It's going to go to Banuelos, who I think's had a fantastic second half. His height has really stretched the Bombers, and he's moved forward really well. He's got a lot of good running patterns. Sets it up towards the teeth of goal. Good mark from Williams.
They're going to raffle that one, he or Tiny. Tiny Malone was right behind him, and yeah, probably not the spot to kick it there.
Williams goes very wide. Finds Cass. But again, it's not really in a spot that would hurt Sydney Uni. They'd be content to see it going along the boundary. Cass goes long. It's a great mark taken there from Cameron. Cameron then looks inboard. Finds Mills. But again, there's not really much movement ahead of the ball. So he's going to have to go back to Cameron.
Just got to bite the bullet back through the corridor, don't they? Look, they're going to switch it and come out this side. But yeah, they just need to get one where they really hit a target in the mid.
And that's what Staraj just did, Stephen. Well, he's been paid the free kick. It's good work from Staraj. And again, they just go slow wide. Hunkin. He's stopped on the mark. He's going to have to look back across the ground now to try and find something. They've got to bite the bullet now. Stephen, wide with the hand pass. Stallard, he's got an option again, far on the wing. Down the line, the kick goes. That's a good mark. Golden put good pressure on, but it was well done from Batty Simmons. Not Batty Simmons, sorry, it was Curry. The youngster sets it up. Hamilman the target, but overcooked the kick. No mark taken from the Uni defender, but they've got the numbers on the deck. But the hand pass was straight to Thompson. This is their chance. Kick a goal from Cameron. Has just missed. It's been an almost day for Clay Cameron. He's been around the ball a lot, but his accuracy in front of goal has been lacking.
Yeah, that was a tough one. It was a left foot snap, but it wasn't far away. It was curling back, but look at the difference in the way they kicked the ball in. Sydney Uni. Very direct.
It's about the third time they've gone virtually down the middle, and it's pretty much worked every time. United Territory or Ascendancy. Bartholomeo's got the three. Cordell, well, he got about 10 metres on his opponent, feeds it over the top. Finds his teammate in Cole. Cole goes forward. Morrison, if he can get there, can kick this. Bounces inside. That's a try to put a boot out, but it's a rush behind, and Redlands will come back in quickly and find Williams. Williams goes very wide. The wind has carried that towards the boundary. Miller sees it out. Redland's ball movement in this final term, I'm a little bit confused by it, I must say, Bob. They're going very wide and trying to change the angles, but they're not really trying to do it with any sort of fluency at the moment. Yeah,
there's no real link of play, isn't there? It's just sort of little bit pieces all the way through. So they've just got to get more command about when they get the footy.
Miller, well, he got the unfortunate bounce, but did well to persist. Keneally, clean sort of a play, but he wasn't that time. He's actually been pinged for holding the ball. Kick long from Stevenson. Almost goes to the back. Well done there from Morrison. Scrivenich, they're queuing up. Davies dropped one he certainly should have taken. Taps it further on. This should be a goal to Stern. And that might just get the Students into the finals. It makes it a 5-goal game. It's going to be very hard for the Bombers from here. 16-10, 106 to 11-10, 76. Well done from Josh Stern. Right spot, right time.
Yeah, good snap. Yeah, he's been fairly well held today. He's, I think he's had Keneally as an opponent for most of the day, and he's done a good job on him. But that was a good snap and good finish. And as you said, that's really given them a. Well, what do they say? First to 100 wins. Well, they're 106, so they're going to be hard pressed, Redland, to kick 5 goals to at least draw level. The way they're playing at the moment, you'd think Uni are on the way to a nice little. Cushion of probably 5 or 6 goals at least victory in this game.
I think they'd be pretty content with that, especially the way the first quarter went. But they've come back well. Ryan wins it down that time. Stephen pursues. Feeds it to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan gets the hands away to Miller. Miller goes back to Stephen. Goes further wide. Finds Johnson. But again,
this is a kick now, isn't it? This is the one here. They've really got to move it faster and probably be more precise. Look, they've let him in again.
Johnson tries to make up for it, but instead miscued. Sam, blind turned almost himself, but fed it to Johnson, who goes wide. But again, they're just really held up at the moment. Now it goes to Sam. This is the kick you mentioned, Bob, inside the 50. Almost turned over. It goes to the back. Hamilman couldn't get it off the receive. Well done there from the Students. They clear it away, and their ball use from half-back has gotten better as the game's gone along. Well done from Robertson, who went to Cole. And it's another 50 for encroachment. This is something that has really let them down today, the Bombers. And it's happened quite a few times now. You'd think out there they get the message not to get too close to that 10-metre protected area.
Well, it's certainly at crucial times too. The 3 of them have been crucial.
Morrison, it's probably the worst kick he's had all afternoon. But the Students have trapped this in again. And it'll be another stoppage. Inside the forward 50 here for the Students. Look like they're going to be heading towards a nice victory. If you just joined us, Redland's got the jump. But since then, it's largely been the ascendancy of Sydney Uni. They've done well. Tagliabue, Stevenson, check side. Oh, it's hit the belly of the ball and it's gone 30 metres out on the full.
Yes, he's nearly hit a koala in the tree over there. It was probably, as you said, wrong side of the boot, and tried to do the check side that went the wrong side, and that's what happens when you get it wrong.
Certainly does. Well, just while we're waiting for the ball to come back in, Redlands have brought Aspley have brought the margin back slightly. They're now 21 points down to Canberra, but Canberra still have time on their side. Whilst in Sydney, Gold Coast look like they're heading to a nice victory over the Swans as there's a whistle and there's a free kick. It's going to go the way of the Students. Tagliabue had the mark anyway. Now feeds it back to a teammate towards the forward sector. It's almost a spoil from the back from Mills. It's called play on. Almost a fantastic mark taken from position, but Mills just extended his extremities there and got a hand on the ball. But again, University just trap it inside this forward area. And they prove so dangerous. Tagliafico won it down. O'Sullivan feeds it away to a one-on-one. Veal was held off. It didn't get it, but it goes to Sierakowski nonetheless. Wheels around. He's a left footer. Intelligent kick to Cole, but just the execution was a little off. Sam gone, holding the ball, almost not paid. Sydney University still have a chance here. They get numbers around it. Stevenson tried to lay a tackle, couldn't quite, towards the middle of the ground. Well done, Robertson. He flew across very nicely, and he showed good composure today. As Robertson. It was a good kick as well. To about 75 metres out. You know, all the students do, they go across the ground. Stewart, it was a good kick, finds Hiscox, little bit of space, sends it forward. Foster gets some meterage, but couldn't quite get there enough. Redlands try to repel, but this kick looks like it's going to go out on the full. They're all over him at the moment, Bob, you'd have to say.
Certainly are. As you mentioned, young Luke Robertson had a broken leg last year. Come from Canberra Demons, played a little bit of footy with them, and great to see him getting a full run at it with Sydney Uni this year. He's been a good player for him in defence today.
Just got a little bit of a pause as Bartholomeus sets it up, and that will go out on the full. So Redlands, after they've got their last game next week, what do you think they really need to work on in the off-season to try and get a bit better? They've only had 3 wins in the last 2 years, Bob.
Yeah, look, they really need to beef up that midfield, don't they? Batty Simmons, like they've had to move him out into defence to really get some run and carry from their defence. So he's their best midfielder. They need to get 3 or 4 real quality midfielders in their squad. Look, I think in hindsight, I think Phil Cast, the new coach, probably thought he brought a few of those boys from the Hampton League with him. He probably thought he underestimated the NEAFL, in my opinion. You really need... it's gone up about 4 or 5 levels since he played, and I think he underestimated that. But he'll learn from that, and hopefully they can recruit really well and start climb up the ladder.
Speaking of Cast, won the football that time, but he hand passed it straight to Robertson, who then fed it back. Well done here from the students. Bartholomeus forward. Revel gets there first, does well to get past Davies. Good composure, good set of heels. Goes short to Miller. Tagliafico, the tallest man on the ground, gets there. He's got a little bit of time, so feeds it to Bartholomeus, who goes short to Morrison. It's an open forward line, but there's not that much there, so he's just going to wheel around. Kicks it straight in the Revel. It lets Miller in. Revel feeds it back. Found Batty Simmons, goes towards the boundary. It'll be a throw-in about 55 metres out, but you're certainly right, Bob. It looks like they're lacking a bit in the midfield department. The Bombers, they've got fantastic bookends, there's no doubt about that, but at the coalface, they've just been found a bit wanting at times, not through lack of effort, just, I think, talent, really. Yeah,
it's class in the midfield. Like Stevenson's really showed that up in that second quarter.
Well done from Ben Walos. Speaking of class, fed it away, but until the hand pass, Cameron, well, he turned it over as well. Golden, Stewart, Sierakowski eventually, good kick. Fantastic kick from Sierakowski, and he finds Josh Stern. And if Stern can kick this, absolutely seals the deal for the students.
Yeah, look, you'd back him from there. He's probably 45 out with the breeze behind his back. He's got to kick at that left goal post, and the wind will do the rest. But he is a goal kicker, knows where they are. Kicked, how many has he got so far this year? He's kicked 33, I think, before today. So you'd back him from here.
Sets it on its way. It was got the distance by a mile, but just missed to the near side. He's kicked the 1 goal today. He's been relatively well held for mine, but again, he's just one of those players. Come a big final, can prove massive for the students as Yagmore sends it long. Good mark taken from Batty Simmons. Certainly in the first quarter was best on ground with Hamilman for mine. Since then has been relatively well held. Tries to find Thompson, couldn't take the mark, but it comes off handsome. Redlands can try and go inside. Johnson feeds it. That's a shot at goal for the Bombers. Hamilman tries to get there. Oh, that would have really hurt. As a whistle. A little concern. Yeah, they get around Hamilman. The trainers come out as well, but that would have been a bit of a rough landing, and I think he's got the free kick here as well. Thank God for goalpost padding, hey, Bob?
Yeah, no, in the old days it would have been a Lee Matthews taking the post off and over the boundary line. So, and he would have put it on his back and run a lap after it. But Hamilman's come back, and beautiful snap there from Matty Hamilman for his 5th. He's got another handful.
He certainly does. That's goal number 5 for him, and we might have thought he would have had a few more today, the way he was looking in the first 10 to 15 minutes, but he's tried his heart out nonetheless. That's goal number 62 of the year for him, with his 5 today, so he's had another very consistent year. Do you see him potentially getting back to the AFL level, or do you think
he just needs to get more consistency in his game? Like, he's had bags where he's kicked big scores against moderate opposition, I claim it, but when he's played against the more senior, like AFL type players that are, like from the Suns, the Lions, etc. He hasn't been quite as proficient, but look, he's certainly a talent. He's got great leg speed. His leading attributes are very good. He runs good lines and kicks the ball very, very well. So he's got attributes, but just not quite there, in my opinion.
Give the honours that time to Malone. Good tackle away from Curry on Bartholomeus. We'll do it all again.
Having said that, he's 23 years of age, so we've seen this year you can get blokes much older getting their first shot at AFL footy.
Veal feeds it back to Sirakoski. Does well to get past Sam. Back to Veal, back to Sirakoski. Hand pass over the top. It's very nice. Found his teammate there in Crockmale. Goes inside to Bartholomeus, who almost threw it out, but it's worked out okay. Bunwalos sends it forward towards the forward 50. Goes over the back, and Williams has taken a nice mark in front position. Goes wide, finds Reveal. But again, not that much movement ahead of the ball here for the Bombers. So you'll just have to set it towards a spot. And it's a good kick as well because it found Christensen.
He is a good kick by foot, Revel. He's talented in that regard. He usually hits targets, and he's got good lateral movement. He's certainly a player of the future.
Batoli Simmons runs his full measure, sends it forward. Oh, it's a great mark from the big man in Malone. Flew over very nicely. And he's took that on the full stretch.
Now the hard part for Tiny. The kicking for goals, not one of his his key attributes in the past. But look, he deserves this one. He's taken some beautiful marks today, and that was certainly a good mark then.
Only 2 goals on the year. Sets it on its way, and it didn't necessarily look conventional, but he got it. Good kick from Craig Malone, and sets it back to a margin of 19 points, and there's still a little bit of time in this one. We've played about 22 minutes, so if Redlands can get a roll on, you never know. 16-11, 107 to 13-10, 88.
Yeah, look, they've kept at it, haven't they? That's the one good thing. They've got a lot of youngsters. I mentioned the Sydney Uni students have got 11 players under 21. Well, they've got 9 newcomers to the game this year, 9 NEAFL newcomers playing today for Redland, and 11 players under 21, the same as the students. So, look, they've got a lot of young talent, and they've kept at it. Certainly, Tiny Malone's kept at it, hasn't he? He's always given 100%.
Back in the middle. Tagliabue probably just given the honours that time. Good tackle from Stephen. And we balled up once again. Malone wins it down that time. It's extracted from the middle of the ground towards half forward. Golden sits under it. Couldn't take the mark, so it might let Thompson in, who laid the tackle. Bartholomeus, Stevenson finds Barkley. Barkley goes long with the left. Davies one out here, and he's the closest to goal. Good spoil at the back there from Stallard. Revel comes in, extracts it off the ground, runs his full measure, then goes forward, but it's all Sydney Uni. And again, just a key moments today. The Bombers have just lacked that composure going forward with the ball. Bartholomeus sets a short kick. Stevenson has had liver poisoning this afternoon. Yagmore's under this. It goes over his head and eventually finds the boundary line.
Just gets it over the lines, doesn't he, Stevenson? When he kicks it, it really packs a punch. It's You know, beautiful work on his right foot, but he's just as good on the left as well.
So later stages of this one. Still time if they're good enough, Redlands, but it's fast running out. Again goes towards the boundary line. Foster's content to see it over.
Yeah, they need to kick the first couple in that last quarter, didn't they? They were 3 down. They need to get within a kick and get some belief, but that didn't happen, and it's just made their task so much more difficult.
And it certainly has. Tagliabue gets front position, spoil at the back from Malone. Stevenson is again content to see it over. But it has made their task a lot tougher. Because they've had a lot of momentum at different stages, though. They just haven't been quite as lethal as they would have liked in front of goal. And their ball use has let them down, but not through a lack of trying. Tagliabue almost got it. O'Sullivan ridden off it, but then got a soccer. Sam got a knee to it. It's hand pass further forward. Curry couldn't quite pick it up. Thompson goes in hard. It's a turned over. It'll find Stevenson, who's got a little bit of space. Sets it up. It's a good kick towards the pocket if it finds Davies. Couldn't quite. Staraj did well. And he'll go wide and he'll find Hunkin in his defensive back pocket. So Redlands, they need 4 to win it. Again, time is really against them. So they've got to take every risk they can. It's an adventurous kick towards Christensen, which hits the target, but they've got to move it a bit quicker than this, you'd think. Christensen goes short, but Batty Simmons has taken it. And he's asking for players to move, so now he'll quickly go. It's unfortunately, you could see what he was trying to do, but it was far too short, and it finds Golden, who's content to just slow it down. Golden, off the left, sends it wide. Good kick. It's all composure. From Adam Goulden, he'll find Stern. Yeah, 60 metres out. I think it's in the uni. They know the situation. They're content to slow it down. Back to Goulden. Goulden off the left, sets it on its way. And it's spoiled over the line from Stallard. Well, that would have taken off probably about a minute off the clock, and every second is valuable at the moment at the students. They find themselves 20 points up. As Yagmore goes back down the middle of the ground, it's got to find Revel. It's a fantastic kick, but it's the next option. They've got to go. It's a short kick over the top. That's okay. Hand pass to Thompson. Gets past Morrison. Loopy sort of a ball, but it almost hit Mills, but couldn't take the mark at the crucial moment. Johnson, Mills, he's got a short option. It's a good one. There's that man you mentioned a lot of times today, Bob, Batty Simmons, who must kick this to keep the Bombers alive.
Yeah, great kick from Yagmore, wasn't it, to Revel, and Revel showed some better poise there with his kick up forward, and this is one he's got to kick, Hayden.
Batty Simmons sets it on its way. It's bending back, but not enough.
They've had a few of those this quarter, haven't they, where they've kicked right of the stick. I remember Matty Thompson had one, Clay Cameron another. Just missed opportunities. Look at that kick. It's a ripper.
It's taking full advantage of the breeze. Davies had back shoulder as there's a block, and it's a free kick going the way of Tristan Davies. And you just felt if they kicked that goal, they might have given themselves a slight chance, but time looks like it'll really beat them. As it currently sits, so Davies inboard to Goulden. Been very consistent for them this afternoon. Been consistent all year. He's such a good ball user as well from half back. Sends it long. Malone's got the best position, and he's been paid the mark. Then plays on. So Sullivan went to Revel, but Batty Simmons, well done from Cordell to get across and then tie it up at the bottom of the pack, and that suits the students just fine.
Yeah, they've won the second half so far, Redland. If the siren goes now, they've kicked 6 goals to the students 5. So look, they've kept at it, which is good for I suppose their young players and their development. But they've just got to be a bit smarter with the footy.
Stewart is immediately tackled. Again, it's just going to come down to that second quarter where they just had a 20-minute period where the students just really put the foot down.
Well, O'Sullivan's done in comparison to the second quarter where Stevenson dominated, he's done a good job on him since half-time.
Well, Stevenson, he fed that hand pass to Hiscox. Hiscox will go long. He's going to let this bounce. Stallard taps it on towards Hunkin. Sees it over the boundary. He'll bring it back in the play quickly to find Williams. He's certainly tried hard all day. He's been key in certain precarious situations. We'll find O'Sullivan. He's then got the leading target there in Cameron. He's really had an almost day today. Could have potentially had a bag. Goes in the middle. Tries to find Yagmore. It lets the students in. Stern, Foster, back to Stern, to Veal. Veal will go long and just place it up because there's no one there for the students, and Stallard should mark this.
Been a consistent player for him in the back half, Stallard, not only today but for the whole season. And Billy Johnson's another improver.
Revel. He's one I've liked today. He's shown some real good signs. Very clean use of the ball, it seems. Cameron. Yagmore. Hand pass over the top. You'd probably rather him kicking. O'Sullivan. They're out here, though, at the moment, Redlands. If they can get it, Williams. He's got cast short. Goes there now. Now it's this kick. Sets it inside. And it's a free kick. And it's going to go the way of Hamilman. Again, he's got to take it really quickly. So we've ticked over 30 minutes, so you don't think there'd be enough time. But this would be for number 6. And again, a pretty good day out for a forward if you can kick 5 or 6 goals.
Yeah, since Barton's gone back on him, he's held him fairly solidly, but he really started the game in a flash, didn't he?
Well, there's the siren. Hamilman's kick is across the face. So 5 goals, 3 for the afternoon for Matt Hamilman. And for the students, it's a 19-point victory. And they have confirmed themselves as finalists in season 2019, which didn't really look that likely about 2 months ago when they were 4-7. And they went through a really bad patch. All credit to Sydney University and Redlands. It's the same sort of story. Well, they try hard all day. They just can't quite get the job done when the heat's really on. Final score, 16-13, 109 to 13-12, 90. 19-point winners to the students. And as it currently sits, they move in the 4th position, which would be a massive bonus for them. We'll just run you through the goal kickers this afternoon as well for you. First, we'll start, of course, with the students. The victors this afternoon, 3 to Morrison, 3 to Stevenson, 2 to Bun Walos and 2 to Davies, while singles to Bartholomeus, Foster, Hiscox, Crockmale, Will Sirakoski and Stern. Whilst for the Bombers, 5 to Hamilton, 2 to Samson Ryan, who showed some good signs today, and singles to Clay Cameron, who kicked 1 goal, 5 on the afternoon. So that could have really proved a difference for them. Curry kicked 1, Keneally, Malone, Spence and Thompson. Bob Batty.
Yeah, look, too good overall, isn't it? 19-point win to Sydney Uni. Always hard to come away with a victory at this Scottsdale Park here at Redland. They're always lift 3 or 4 goals here at their home ground, but they were just too good today. Led by Lewis Stevenson, the second quarter was dynamic. Harry Morrison kicked 3 in that quarter as well, but they winners all over the ground. Bailey Stewart and Jake Bartholomeus in the midfield along with Stevenson. Tim Barton down defence, Will Sirakoski on the wing. Ben Wallace tried hard in the ruck with Tagliabue, and together they probably nullified Tiny Malone from the opposition. But for Redland, certainly you'd have to put Hayden Batoli-Simmons right up there. He's been very good today. Matt Hamilman has kicked 5 again and done very, very well. They had some contributors along the way. Malone, I mentioned. Jai Keneally did a good job on Stern down in the back half. Adrian Williams tried hard. And some of the younger blokes, as you mentioned, Bruce Revel, Billy Johnson and Mitch Stallard all tried hard. But look, no avail in the end. 19 points. Probably sums up their season. They've been thereabouts most games, just can't get over the line. Sydney Uni, that's their 9th win for the year, 9 wins and a half. So they're in the finals. Well done to Tom Morrison and the students, and a well-deserved victory today.
It certainly is. You look across some of the other statistics as well. Sydney Uni had certainly dominance ahead of the ball, plus 19 in inside 50. So when you get it into forwards like Morrison, Stern, and of course Davies, that's normally going to cause trouble for them. Clearances are relatively even. Sydney Uni 44 to Redlands 40. Redlands actually dominated the hit out, so the students' midfield really did well to react to the ruck work of both Ryan and primarily Craig Malone. But as we leave you here this afternoon, Sydney University have secured a finals berth once again in season 2019, and they come out 19-point victors. On behalf of Bob Batty and all the crew here from the NEAFL, it has been a fantastic afternoon, and we'll see you next time for round 21 of the NEAFL as we head towards what should be a fantastic final series. Have a good afternoon.